In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
ladies and gentlemen, everybody tuning in to tonight's stream. It's 4 minutes past 8 on a Tuesday evening. I hope everybody had a great bank holiday weekend and spent some great quality time with their families. Who am I kidding? Spent time doing your FPL drafts. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Zimmy, Sultan Saeed, Aman Dylan, Nana, Yar, Waz FPL, Zed, Red FPL, Dereco, Nana. Again, I've said your name twice. There we go. Got a new member in Ramsey Sinclair as well that's decided to join us in the Playmaker. And thank you to Leland Edwards also. We've got FPL Dave in the chat. Hello, FPL Dave. How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, good. We'll get to you in a moment. John Harris, Antoine Akango, Bird. I can't say that. Bird Rabre. Okay. Apologies if I'm butchering your name, by the way. Hello, Liam Healy, and everybody that's tuning in on Twitch. We've got Daff tuning in on Twitch. I believe you know who that is.
Daff. The guy, everybody, you couldn't pronounce the name last night, wasn't it? David.
We've got Florin as well. Florin and Aquacool2304 tuning in on Twitch. And anyone tuning in on Periscope or anywhere else, Facebook Live, hello to you guys also. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we are joined this evening, first of a triple header this week of a special guest, FBL Dave. It's an absolute pleasure, Dave, to have you on the show. And also Steve-O's here after having his time away in sunny Torbados. How are you, Steve-O? And we'll start with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good evening. I'm very happy that Dave's with us. Very happy Dave's with us. Tomorrow with Andy and then gaming. And we've got another guest on Saturday. So unless you want to announce it, Jason, but... We have another guest on Saturday, so yeah, this week's going to be complete guests galore. But I don't want to talk. I want FPL Dave to talk. It's an honour, Dave, for you to be with us.
Thank you very much. That's really nice of you. I know you guys are lying, but it's always nice for the lie to be good. I like it.
I was in the gym listening to your stream from last night and everything. You some of our regulars on you and stuff.
No, I know. I just wanted you to say it again, to be fair. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a packed week. I'm excited for you. Are you nervous? You guys nervous? This is a big deal. Oh, my goodness.
So I said to you just quickly off air, yes, tomorrow I'm nervous speaking to Andy because he genuinely is an inspiration personally for myself when it comes to the whole live streaming thing. He was the very first live streamer I saw, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow evening, I think. But we don't want to talk about the people. We want to talk about you, Dave.
Can I just ask while we're doing that, Steve-O, could you just turn your mic down a little bit because it is quite loud in your settings in Skype? That'd be great. Yeah, sure. But yeah, so we will talk about Dave, FPL Dave, who is joining. Well, I don't know if everyone knows, but he has made it public. He is joining YouTube, the ranks of us YouTubers. I'm wearing Twitch because we're still on Twitch. We're still on there. We're one of the remaining. I don't know if there's anyone else that does it on Twitch. We might be the only ones now. So we're still on Twitch. Dave, first question: why are you moving to YouTube?
Just because I feel like having an FPL stream on Twitch is kind of like having a salon in the desert. You're getting no walk-ins. No one's coming on Twitch being like, you know what, I'm going to watch. Not Call of Duty, not Fall Guys, I'm watching FPL. No one does that. There's always on YouTube, aren't they? So I decided to move to YouTube because I tried the Twitch thing for a while and the growth just wasn't really there. And I mean, the money was good and, it was really nice that I didn't have to worry about music and swearing and all the rest of it. But, I'm going to be a good boy for 2020, 21 and we'll make it happen. And hopefully I'll see loads of these people in the chat. They're being very nice to me already. I'm that's going to change, but
they are, as a whole, they are very, very nice people. But as a whole, but I will say, I mentioned to you back along. I think it was when we went to Twitch, and I think we ended up talking, and I asked you about going onto YouTube, and I think at the time you said no, I want to focus on Twitch. Yeah, and I did did feel when you said that, I was like, okay, respect. I mean, I just thought it was a gamble. And I think you're right. I mean, Twitch is predominantly.
Is this why you brought me on the show for that big, massive year-long?
Oh, there we go. I told you so, Dave. I told you. No, you need to. Let's be honest. I mean, Twitch is a great platform. In fact, Twitch is a better platform than YouTube for live streaming. There's
100%,
absolutely
100%.
But the communities on YouTube for FPL, that's the thing, and the big names in content creation are on YouTube, and so that's the key thing. And I'm glad to hear that you're coming on to YouTube, because I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy listening to your content. You're a funny guy, you and James, and I think you're gonna fit in really well with unique content. Which if you want to achieve and succeed on YouTube, having something unique and having a completely different, fresh take on FPL is key. And Steve, have you sorted your microphone out?
Should be all fine. Should be all loud.
Oh, there we go. That's fine. It's all good. No, the chat can rest easy. But Steve, go ahead with any questions you want to ask Dave while I read the chat.
I don't ask questions. I don't give a damn about questions. I just want to have a conversation. No, Dave. The first time I actually saw you was your FPL and chill, as we just discussed off air. The first time I ever saw you was with Andy. Let's Talk FPL.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun, aren't they? Those streams.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. I don't think that the people I had on really enjoyed them too much, because the premise was I keep watching FPL streams and stuff, and all they talk about is FPL, right? And I want to know more about the people. I want to know who's telling me this stuff. I know your rank's pretty good, but like, who are you? Do you like metal music? Are you really into rollerblading? Like, what's going on with you? So I decided to do a stream. We called it FPL and Chill, and I just brought home. Yes, mate. Here we go.
I got it because I know you're coming on the show, man. I got it just for you, and I'm drinking it out of an exclusive Eat, Sleep, Elite Repeat mug that we're going to be giving right with Paulie. Paulie, if he's watching, his is being dispatched tonight or tomorrow, because the post office is not open till tomorrow. And if anyone is interested in one of these mugs, find out later on in the stream, and I'll be giving it away. There you go.
Amazing.
You talk about a natural breaking conversation there.
That was great, mate. I'm totally there with you. I am brewer for the win. Voice break. I was streaming with people. I decided to ask people to come on as guests, and I just basically Googled their names. So like, Let's Talk, you've got him on tomorrow, Andy, and he's been around FPL for a long time, streaming with Marks back in the day, all the rest of it. So I had went back through years of YouTube just to find a video of him to show him like how far he'd came, because with the weight loss and everything. And I was looking up old comments that he had made in, FS Scout. Like just comments before he was even a pundit and stuff, and showing them it and being like, mate, do you remember writing this absolute gumph? And he'd be like, and he was like, yeah, no, I don't. And that was it. And it was just about kind of showing people who these people were behind what they did just with FPL. And that's what I really like doing. So for me, my streams and my tips and all the rest of it, and my Twitter and everything you'll see me, is mostly just me wanting to have a laugh with people. And then, and also, how's your team doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's really all it is. And that's the most interesting part, is just talking to people and having a good time. I'm not really too bothered about much else.
Yeah, I think that's what we try to do as well when we have callers on. Like, we can get into this rhythm of just like, hi, welcome to the show. How are you tonight? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, what's wrong with your team? Okay, so tell me about your team. And it's like, okay, it's almost like we get a meat counter, and it's like, next. Yeah, come on, let's go. Yeah. Oh my God, what you've got him for? Next. It's like, shoot him down. Or Steve-O's case, get rid of him. Get him on, get him gone. But no, we are looking to, just to constantly evolve in terms of the conversation that we have on our show. And having you on tonight, part of the thing I was looking forward to this evening was that how you are quite a laid back person. You have a bit of a laugh and a joke, and I think that is kind of one of the main selling points of your personal channel. And I think I'm going to look forward to it, because I know that you die to swear every other word, but
hard to. I'm holding it in so badly. Like my mum used to tell me, "Don't be yourself, because no one will like you." Well, it is totally true. Like, you can't swear, you can't do anything. I gotta be nice, P's and Q's.
So we've got 123BJG and Twitch saying that you guys are cool, to keep it up. Thank you ever so much. Hello, Linguistic Llamas in their chat, keeping an eye on the guys in YouTube, in Twitter. Twitch? God, I'll get there in the end. Sir Babatunde. Sir Babatunde's there as well. Hello to One Rivers Vlogs, and yes, Oscar Bell too. We will take some questions, and we will hopefully take some callers later on in the show also. So Dave, you're from Scotland. What's the weather like? What's the weather like at the moment? Because it's been a little bit warmer today.
Let me just check for you, mate. Hold on.
Yeah, go and have a look.
It's cloudy over here, lad. Yeah, probably going to rain.
Is it not dark? Is it not dark where you are?
It's kind of. I was getting there. To be honest, Scotland's always dark. It's a dark place up here.
I was going to say you get dark before me, right?
I don't know. We're northern. We're closer to the sun, maybe.
The higher you are, maybe you're right. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you're closer to the sun this time of year. Absolutely. Do you ever see the Northern Lights?
I have actually.
Really? That's amazing. Yeah. I've never seen the Northern Lights in real life.
It's a bucket list for sure. Definitely.
Is it worth?
Is it
100%? Really?
It's mental. Okay. It's like watching a firework that never goes off.
Well, I used to work in an airport back many years ago, and we used to have flights that used to take people out to just see the Northern Lights. They would literally leave in the evening for about 4 hours and come right back again.
Awesome. Why don't you just jump aboard? I'm sorry, mate. I work here. I'm getting on this plane.
Well, I actually used to think that it was kind of sad. Sorry, but like I thought, because they used to pay quite a lot of money for it as well. I think it was like 400 quid or 500 quid. So ridiculous amount of money to fly out, over Scandinavia or wherever it was they went. And I thought, just go on holiday and look for yourself. A long weekend break or something. Go to Iceland. I know. Anyway,
Steve, are you alright?
Awesome.
Yeah, listening in about. In all seriousness, we are an FPL channel. But Jace, have you actually looked at your team over the last week or so? Have you done any tinkering like me, or this has just been a case of I'm not bothered? Genuinely.
Right. So the weekend was family time. Okay, and I genuinely didn't look at my team. I did go on Twitter a lot, though. I have been trying, guys, to be better on Twitter and being more active. And actually, it's kind of paid off. I've got loads more people on Twitter are now my friends, and maybe some of them are now in the chat as well. So big wave to you guys. Yeah, when we kind of go, when I'm on social media anyway, I don't really want to be doing rate my team sort of stuff. So please don't. In the nicest possible way, don't post your team to me in private messages or tweet me, because I do. This is what this show's about. Come on the show. I mean, if you can spend a couple of moments to screenshot your team and then tweet me, might as well just get on Discord and get in the waiting room. Or even better still, if you don't want to do that, just go onto Discord and go in the Rate My Team section. There's about 100 or 200 managers that will probably give you a reply or something like that. It's only going to get busier. But to answer your question, Steve-O, no, I haven't really been looking at it too much. That's why Ziyech is still in there. I'm still undecided of whether or not I want to start the season with Salah. I genuinely think that I might start the season without him and have Alexander-Arnold and Robertson.
Sounds like you're copying me, Jason.
No, mate, no. I was copying you. Get lost. I don't want to
I'm already doing it. I'm genuinely. I've tinkered around with my team, and I keep thinking about what you said during that first live stream about I'm going to write down all these names that you're not thinking about. I did say, it was a caveat. I said it will all change because of friendlies and injuries and stuff, and I'm still sticking with this. And Dave, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I just think avoid Liverpool attack. There's something about Liverpool that
must have been the win of the Premier League last season. There's just something about them that you just really want to avoid attack at all costs.
Yeah, I'm almost 75% certain I'm going Robbo and Trent. Genuinely, Salah looks whatever, just useless. That game against Arsenal,
I agree.
The game against Arsenal, they didn't impress me at all. And there's just something about them where I'm just thinking they're just hungover from this title win. And I honestly think that there's a chance that Chelsea could pip them to second. There's a chance. But that Chelsea have done such great business. And you asked on the show last time we were on that, are you going all in Chelsea? Well, the answer is now no, because of the Ziyech injury, the whole virus thing going around and stuff. I'm just sticking with Werner. But I have changed my team significantly, and I'm actually changed it from all-out Chelsea to all-out Tottenham. I've got Kane, Ali, and Doherty. Thanks to my friend Dale. I know you're watching, Dale. He's going 3, Son, Ali, and Doherty.
Are you sure they're all going to play? Are you sure they're all going to play every game?
Well, this is the thing. It's a case of look at what's happening in the friendlies. Ali's doing really well at the moment. Whenever he seems to play for Tottenham, he does really, really well. My basic understanding is that Son's probably going to be playing out on the left, which isn't great for him. But Ali will always be behind Kane. Kane's a guaranteed starter. Doherty's basically going to be starting every game.
My problem with Spurs is the fact that they've got a game every 3 days until like the 1st of October or something. They're playing FA Cup, Cup games. They're playing Europa League qualifiers for the group stages. I don't think they have a single break that's more than 3 days for like a month and a half, and that's really scary. Especially if they're going to keep Aurier, then that means to me that they're probably going to spread the load on Doherty and Aurier. I didn't mean to be crass there. That's generally just the first thing that came to my head.
I think you're right. I think there's going to be a rotation, and 100%. All last season I wouldn't touch Spurs, okay? And I know that they, since the lockdown eased and the FPL resumed, and they had a good spell, and I know that, and I think a lot of people are kind of looking at them seriously for game week 1 onwards. But there was a golden rule that I stuck with so much last season: don't get Spurs. Other than Aurier, I wasn't interested. And I just think that tripling up on Spurs could really backfire. But I'm not saying 1 or 2 isn't a bad idea. I think I don't think you necessarily need Kane and Son in your team. I know Mr. Booner would disagree with me, but I think you could probably just get away with having one or the other in your team. I think both offer really good price, for their potential points that they can get. I think both of them are very good price points. So again, good point that you make about the congestion of fixtures that Spurs are going to be starting off with. And of course, tripling up with Spurs is also a question of how you're going to move on out to the Man City players from game week 2 onwards as well.
Got money in the bank like me? You can.
Much have you got, mate?
And then I've got 2.5, which means I can upgrade Ali to Fernandez.
Send that my way, mate. I don't need that. I need 2.5 million in my bank.
Yeah, but
oh my goodness.
Based on your stream yesterday, based on the stream that I saw the other week, you're toying around with this really interesting idea of wildcarding in game week 2/3.
Yeah.
And Nathan Bacon came up with that idea as well. It's a strategy that's... Talk to anybody that doesn't know this strategy, Dave. Tell us about it. I mean, I know it's about as evident as it gets. I'm wildcarding game week 2, but what is the actual strategy itself?
So we all know that there's blanks in game week 1, and they'll probably get played in game week 18-19. I'm 100% aware of that. There's going to be doubles eventually. So a lot of people have said, I'm not only going to keep my wild card because of COVID and the fact that I might need it if all my players suddenly, have to quarantine or whatever, but also if I want to take advantage of those blanks, I'm going to keep it until game week 16, which is the farthest we can keep it this season, and then I'm going to use it then. And my thought was, if everyone does that and I wild card really early, then that means I've got about 14 game weeks between my wild card and theirs to get ahead of them. And then by the time they use their wild card, I've already started making aggressive moves because I've got everyone I want in from the get-go. By game week 3, we know who the Lundstroms are. We know who the 4.0 starters are. We know who the main Chelsea guys are starting. We know way more what's happening, the actual shots in the darks that we take in game week 0, which is right now, present, preseason. We know if they're real or not, right? Especially with the whole Salah thing. He doesn't look we'll know everything. So if I go in with a very early wild card, it means I'll be able to then try and make up the points between mine and yours. Now, let's say I get 5 more points because I've wild carded per game week right up until game week 16, and you're sitting with your wild card waiting. How many points do you think you'll make if you use your wild card in game week 16 and with the opportunity that you have with the doubles? Let's say you get 40 extra points with your wild card, right? If I make 5 points per week more, then that's 70 points between my game week 3 and your game week 16. I'm already 30 points ahead of you. But not only that, the butterfly effect of having a wild card very early means I can make aggressive changes. I'm not trying to stay with the pack anymore. I'm trying to get out the pack. I think that this guy looks good and I can go for him, whereas you're still stuck trying to get the Lundstrom in and trying to get all the other 4.0s in and trying to fix the fires in your team because you went with Werner, but he's actually not starting as much as you thought. Or, Chelsea managers taking him off every 60 minutes and you don't really want that. All that stuff that you have to deal with. I don't have to deal with any of that. So I feel like, although I would like to keep my wild card, I don't really want to play risk averse this season. I kind of want to jump at the chance that everyone else is a bit more risk averse this season because of the circumstances that we're facing with this blank, with COVID. I think it's a real opportunity for me to jump ahead extremely early and then cruise it until the doubles. That's my plan anyway, Steve-O.
And that's the funny thing, because when I was listening to it this morning, I just... What was it that James said on Planet FPL? It's like he joked and went, and then when game week 1 ends and that Zinchenko scores for Southampton or whatever his name is, everyone's going to be thinking, why have I got Armstrong? Why have I got Ings? Why have I got Redmond? Whatever it may be. And the funny thing is that I if I ever get the opportunity to speak to live to the guys on Planet FPL, I will ask that question, like, why, and I'll ask you this question, why does everybody seem to play FPL like Sky Fantasy? Because people like yourself, people like me, people like Jason, people like whoever, they've all got a plan, and then after game week 1 it's like, I've got to get this player in instead. Everything's gone up. Why do people play the game as if it's we have to have the same players throughout the whole season, rather than no, we have to play the game as based on form? Do you not worry about the fact that, for example, you mentioned Werner there. Werner gets a hat-trick in game week 1, and it's like, oh, God, I don't even have him.
Yeah.
You're going to be thinking, I've got to get this player in. That's scuppered up my plan straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Your question boils down to, how do we know that form is form and not just a flash in the pan game week? That is essentially what you're asking. And the best way you can put it is, if you think of Bruno's first 3 game weeks last season when he came in after Christmas, right? He put in some top performances, but he also backed it up with unbelievable stats. Like, it wasn't just an Antonio 5 goals and, do you know what I mean? Like, he was actually banging and his stats were good and everything seemed to point towards he was that key that they were missing in midfield to set up everyone else. And so you can jump on them easily. But I've also seen players like Armstrong, for example, you mentioned him, score a goal and get an assist, and people bring him in and then he blanks for three game weeks. That happened to me last year with Firmino. I went a very long time, mostly out of stubbornness, holding him after the blanks, like 10 game weeks or something, just because it eventually got so bad it became a joke that I just kept going. Like, it was bad. And that was because Firmino had a very good first 4 games, and I assume that was form, bring him in, and then it doesn't really work. When I look back at the season, look at those 4 games, it was tap-ins. It was things that he doesn't tend to do very often. It was the first couple of game weeks he was wilding out, but eventually he moves back to his position of, I'm just going to pass to the other 2 guys. And that really sucks for us FPL managers. So it's about differentiating between what is form and what is the flash in the pan. And unfortunately, you can really only do that with hindsight or a couple of game weeks of really pouring over the stats a little bit. And that's what separates us from the casual manager.
I really like the idea of bench boosting game week 1 and wildcarding game week 2. Yeah. I really do. When I saw Nathan Bacon's video about it, and I just thought, afterwards, I just sat there and thought, you know what? There's way more pros I can see. The way I play FPL, I'm very, very aggressive. You can ask Steve-O that I pretty much just, I don't care. I go out all out to try and capitalize on price rises, form players that, and sometimes it backfires. But, I think a couple of occasions over the last couple of seasons, it's actually worked out really good, like a net positive. So taking hits is not a bad thing. But of course, if you've got that wild card, you can set your team up from game week 2 onwards, knowing a little bit more about what the teams are going to line up like, knowing a little bit more how the players are looking, and also taking advantage of obviously a blank. Well, the Manchester Club's not playing and having a smaller pool for the bench boost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
really,
a good idea.
It really
I
is a good idea.
heard it on FPL Surgery new host Flapjack. He was also talking about it, and he said it on the pod, his very first one as host, and he was like, "I'm thinking of doing this," and that was quite a bold thing to not only say, because it's a very interesting tactic, but also to mention on your first ever like hosting this mighty FPL Surgery pod. So good on him for doing that. But the other two guys that were on were like, actually, you know what, it might work. You might be the top manager of that week. And that's going to set you up. If you can absolutely nail that, you are fine for the rest of the season. That is exactly what you need. But also, like you mentioned, like it could go really badly, and then you just don't have a bench boost, and you're going to rack up a lot less points than anyone else who is potentially going to use their bench boost in a double week or a blank week or whatever. Yeah,
but generally speaking, people that use a bench boost for a double game week, I mean, their bench isn't normally an exceptional bench of players that you would expect to score good points. Whereas if you're going to wildcard game week 2, you can bring those players in. You can bring in like mid-range players to go on the bench. Whereas at that later stage in the season, your bench is basically 4.5s, 5s. Yeah,
100%.
So definitely, I see both, and I think the argument of a potential better bench boost game week 1 is a very strong one. And certainly if anyone came on the stream on our show said that they were definitely going to do it, I would take my hat off to them and say, you know what? I completely agree. I can see why you want to do it.
It's a good idea. There's obviously pros and cons to everything. And there's also different degrees of the strategy. I'm thinking about wildcard in game week 2 or 3, but I'm not necessarily going to bench boost game week 1. So I'm going there, but not as full as what you're suggesting. But then also, me wildcarding game week 2 or 3 is crazy to people who want to keep it forever. And I love that this even just the fact that there's 2 blanks this first game week of the season makes this season more of a differential across all managers than any other season that I've been a part of. Seriously, where there's so many strategies out there for game week 1. There's so many strategies out there for the wild card. And on top of that, Loving the Purple Lights. And on top of that, there's so many more players that we all want. When is the last time you remember that there's Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, midfielders, City, Man United? Like, there's never been this much choice.
We're spoiled for choice. And also, we can't have them all. And will there be a template? Yes, we will see it. We've seen it on the show. There's a lot of... But will there be a template come game week 1 once... everyone's starting to kind of get that kind of crunch period with their teams. You can't fit them all in. The defense is going to be interesting for me, because will people go with just Trent and budget, or will they double up with Liverpool? Will they get Robertson? Will they get Doherty? Will they have the Tierney and up, the 5.5s and upwards in their team, or are they just basically going to stack their money in midfield? That's going to be interesting for me. I'm interested to see what the general majority is going to go with, and then I'll probably do the opposite. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited for this season. I don't know if it's... I say that every season that I'm excited for the season, but I just think that this is going to be a bit of a curveball. Like, it's going to really throw a few people out. That even the seasoned players, it's going to make them really think, because of what you said, but because of the blank game weeks, because of the planning that goes into it. And I think it's going to really separate the thinkers from the knee jerkers.
It's going to be good. I can't wait. Like you said, like the fact that there's so much things that people want and we're not going to be able to go get them, it means that I'm not going to have to worry about overall ownership as much. I'm not going to have to worry about a lot of the stuff that tends to frequent my mind so much, and it makes me overthink, and I pick the wrong thing. I'm worried about other people's games. Like, it's going to be so varied that I don't have to do half the stuff that I usually do just to keep sane You know, when eventually, like what you guys said, I know I was talking to Steve the other week, and he was talking about how he was just going to not listen to all the noise. He's going to try and cut the noise off because it was too much last season. But if you think about it, there's not going to be as much, the streams aren't going to cross as much because everyone's going to have a different plan. Everyone's going to have a different team. It's not, there's going to be a template, but the template's going to include 40 players. And that's what I'm excited about. We're not all going to have Salah, unless Messi comes, of course. Then that's a captaincy that we don't have to deal with for the rest of the season. But until that day comes, like I'm excited.
I'm excited. Well, I mean, it's going to be great. Yes, Steve-O.
Well, no. Another thing that Dave came on the show for is Dave. At 8:30, you said you had a massive announcement to make to our audience.
Yeah. I do.
I'm really excited.
Let me pause the music because I need to listen in what you're going to say. Go on then.
Here we go. Yeah, build it up. Yeah, so Dave's got a massive announcement to make. I actually know what it is, but Dave, I'd like you to obviously take away, my friend. You tell the audience what this huge news is regarding yourself.
Thanks very much, guys. So I've decided to create a podcast mini-series called 8 Simple Rules for a Better Overall Rank. And what I do is I have the same list of rules for every episode, and each episode I have a different guest on talking to different top managers about this set of rules that I've created for next year and what do they think of them. So it varies between manager to manager. I've tried to get as many unique people on. I'll just go through the list. I've actually tweeted it. You could bring the tweet up. It's literally just tweeted it. It's FPL General. Let's talk FPL. Andy, who's coming on tomorrow.
Wow.
FPL Salah. Who got the assist? Tom. FPL Matthew. FF Community Holly. Flapjack and Late Riser 12 is going to be on it. So they are going to be released every day from Friday right up until kickoff eve, which is the 11th. Every day you'll have a new episode, and you can find it on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. It's part of the Firing Blanks podcast that me and James have been doing. That is the announcement. Wow. It's a massive project. I'm really excited to show everyone.
Man, that sounds insane.
Yeah, what made you come up with the idea?
I was listening to FPL General talk to Prince Abdullah on FPL Surgery, and they were having a little discussion about next season. And someone mentioned, I think it was General mentioned his list that he does every season.
Yes.
And they were having like a good 10-minute back and forth about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my own list. And then halfway through the list, I was like, what if this is a really crap list? I don't know if this is a good list. You know what? I'll phone Mark, right? What I'll do is I'll text FPL General and see what he thinks. And then I text a few other people and message a few other people. I was like, you know what? People would want to listen to this. Mate, do you want to just record this? And he was like,
it's on the screen now, guys. It's on the screen now. So here it is. This is the Firing Blanks podcast presenting 8 simple rules for a better OR. And here's the dates and here's the guests that you're going to be having on your show on the large screen. There you go.
Thank you so much. So yeah, it's a really, really fun podcast. It's not super serious because I'm on it. It's gonna be very difficult to be serious when I'm the host. But these guys are definitely serious and they definitely know their field. We've got Late Riser, who was the top in India, number 1 in India, 2 years in a row. FPL Matthews had countless top 100 finishes. You guys know FPL Salah. He's also an extremely good manager. And then you've got our classics. And then I threw Flapjack in there because he's always fun to talk to as well. And he also is quite a decent manager. So the lineup is, I'm really, really happy with it. And yeah, that's it. That's it. I hope you guys all listen on Friday.
Absolutely.
Mate, I'll be definitely listening in because I'm not doing anything else on Friday. So 100%. 100% listening to that.
One in the bank.
Absolutely. It's just 2 seconds. I need to quickly just close this down. For some reason, I loaded up Streamlabs OBS. Why would I want to do that? Anyway, no, but that's no, dude. I didn't know what your announcement was going to be. I wasn't expecting those names coming on your show. But that's going to be something, isn't it? That's absolutely brilliant. Steve-O, you what's your thoughts? You said you knew about this.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of Dave. I listen in all the time. No, I listened in and he mentioned all this, and it kind of ironically, it's not really that funny a story, but when Dave actually mentioned this is what gave me the idea for us to collaborate more. So I was in the car and I was just listening. Like I genuinely had like a thought in the gym, and I was just like, do you know what? I fancy me and Jason to do a lot more collaborations with various content creators from the world of fantasy football, and then literally half an hour later Dave's doing it, and I was literally in my car smiling, just like, this is great, this is genuinely brilliant, because I really love Planet FPL's correspondence that they did 30 and 30 last year. They're doing it this week. They're 20 and 20, releasing 5 a day or 4 a day, whatever it is this week. It's just fantastic. And in fact, who was it? Someone's just asked a question. I apologise who it was. It was blah, blah, blah. Harbour Boy. Will your sessions be audio channels? The answer is yes, Harbour Boy, because I've got it on my phone. Already there, my friend. And yeah, you've already seen it. Flapjack sending you some love, but
yeah. So they're going to be released on Spotify, Apple, any other place you get your podcast. Also, my YouTube channel. I've been quite frequent in the chat, so you can just click my little thing and go to my subscription YouTube thing. Videos? Yeah, so I didn't record the video, but it's just going to have I'm just going to put it on YouTube for people who prefer to listen to it on there. And there's also some adverts and stuff, which mean that's a funny thing. This is something that I'm actually most proud of, and it's really dumb. So we're sponsored by FPL merch, and he is doing awesome stuff. And I'm not going to plug him on your show, but I asked him if he wanted to be a part of it, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, right, do you mind if me and James come up with some funny adverts to do for you, and we'll put them in the middle of the podcast? And he was like, right, okay. And he really wasn't like 100%, didn't really know what to expect, but they are some absolute comedy. If I do say so myself, they make me laugh so much. It's just me and James just ad-libbing, totally riffing to try and come up with dumb ideas. And we thought,
was it like Grand Theft Auto style adverts?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, mate, I love that sort of stuff. I love that sort of stuff.
Just dumb stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know Dr. Disrespect?
And all that kind of thing.
Do you know Dr. Disrespect?
Of course.
Well, when he returned, obviously, it came to YouTube.
Of course.
He did that 24-hour radio show thing as his kind of the hype was building up to his return, and he was literally doing those Grand Theft Auto style radio skits, like adverts, and it was just amazing. I just love that sort of stuff.
Laszlo from Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh yeah,
I remember I was like 12 years old. I was 12 years old, and I was riding around in a plane that you couldn't technically fly in Grand Theft Auto 3 because I didn't have the technology yet, and I would just be driving around in that with all the music turned down except for Laszlo's radio show, and I would just listen to Pogo the Monkey adverts and all that stuff. So anyway,
it was Liberty City, wasn't it? That was it. Yeah,
Liberty City, exactly. And so the adverts are just really funny, like stupid stuff. Me phoning him and him being annoyed and all the rest of it, and like us calling each other names under the sun. And it's funny to have an actual sponsor of a big project that I'm working on, and then just right in the middle is just these two idiots pretending they know what they're doing with advertisement. It's really fun. So there's something for everyone.
That's right. We're just two idiots pretending we know what we're doing when it comes to.
I was going to say it's a good segue to the continue the show.
There you go. But we're here for for basically for the views. So thank you ever so much for providing.
Damn.
It's pimping you out, Dave. Let's go. Right, I know we've got people in the waiting room that want to talk. We've got some new faces in there too, so we look forward to bringing them on the show. And this is also a segue into our Discord. Discord is a free-to-use app that you can use on your laptop, PC, mobile phone, tablet, blah, blah, blah. You can literally use it anywhere and everywhere. And on our Discord at the moment, we're approaching 1,700 strong FPL managers who are daily involved in conversations around their teams, around drafts, around mini leagues, around general football stuff and non-football stuff. And it's a really cool place. So if you feel like you want to be a part of that community, the link can be found in the description of this channel and or on the live chat and also on Twitter if you're struggling to find it. But yes, join our Discord, guys. You won't regret it. It's a really cool place. Steve-O, whilst that's the case, I'll kindly ask Dave to join our Discord if that's all right with yourself.
Yes.
And if you could post your team up, I can throw it up on the screen as well. So because a few people have asked to bring, they're fed up of looking at my team that I've neglected, and they want to see someone else's team. So yeah, if you could do that for me, that'd be awesome.
On a waiting room.
Yeah, I'll drag you in, mate. Steve-O, have you made any changes to your team that you want to share with us at all?
Yeah, I said it earlier.
Yeah, no, but what do you want to share with us?
Well, yeah, I couldn't care less. So
yeah, have you got it? Have you got it in the team screenshots though?
No, I'll just put it in. Basically, listening into various correspondents on Planet FPL and also people that phone into the show. I've been to and fro about whether I should be getting in certain players or not, i.e. Crazy Jack made a very, very, very good argument regarding Meslier of Leeds.
Meslier, yeah.
The Fulham correspondent on Planet FPL today was bigging up his goalkeeper. Sounds very, very interesting indeed. And they were just the basic arguments quite simply about the fact that, what are you actually expecting from McCarthy or Matt Ryan, for example? Are they really going to get any more points than, say, Rodak or this Meslier? Matt Ryan got, I think it was like 135 points last season. Are these two keepers really going to get less? Obviously, they're going to be a bit biased towards their teams, or in Crazy Jack's case, he watched a lot of the Championship and a bit biased towards it. But I respect these people's opinions. And a lot of the stuff that I've tinkered around with is kind of like my own thought processes, but it's still sticking with this basic plan of by game week 3, I should have either 2 Man City or a Man City and a Man United, i.e. Fernandes and Sterling. I saw Simeon Batchelor was saying that no one's mentioned Sterling. I think I'm the only one that does, because I'm a massive fan of his at the moment. His form is sublime. And I've just put out in the screenshots. But for people listening on audio, we've got McCarthy, as it stands right now. Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, I just think they're just... Well, Robertson at the moment is a freak. Doherty. The midfield is just an absolute cluster. But I've got 2.5 in the bank. So Armstrong, Susek, Aubameyang, Ali, St. Maximin, Kane and Werner. I love the 2 front men. The front men are just stunning. But if I hear this news about Werner may not be starting game week 1 because he's got 2 international breaks or whatever, he's gone. I'm going to get in Mitrovic. Do you know much about this talk? Because I know you posted it, Jason, but this talk about quarantine, the German players.
It looks like it's going to be fine. Don't worry. So yeah, I tweeted it out afterwards. It's basically, there's nothing to worry about. Long story short, it's fine.
So yeah, my plan would be, again, to get rid of Ali for Fernandes game week 2, possibly, and then Aubameyang out for Sterling. But it really all depends on what I see in the first 3 game weeks of this. But I think really Robertson and Alexander are a lock for me. Is there a chance I could go back to my original team and have Salah in? There is a very, very possibility, 50-50, 60-40 in that favour. But
you were 75% certain that you weren't starting with him, and now, in an hour later, it's now 60-40.
This is coming from the same guy that two and a half weeks ago I said to you, how are you about your team? Well, 9 out of 11 are 90.
That's what I said to, but hold on a minute, that's what I said to you earlier. It's all a caveat based on what happens in friendlies and injuries.
No, you never said that. No,
based
you didn't.
Friendlies and injuries.
If we go back. We can go back to the stream. We'll go back to the stream.
You carry on.
And I said, how certain are these players in your team come game week 1?
Based on form in the friendlies and based on injuries and stuff. I was happy. Ziyech is another one.
Basically, you should have turned around and said 0.
I feel like Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad at the dinner table with the water, and just look at it, both of you guys arguing.
He's gonna melt down when he sees my team, because he'll see that I've done something which is better than him.
Like I said, I'm sticking with my own. In fact, Dave was making the point what the FPL general said about writing a piece of paper on his laptop and just saying,
I said locked in your team. I said locked in your team. Thank you, Coolio 2 Foots. The words I were was locked, i.e. not moving. Come high or how?
Yeah, but I caveated that by saying it's all based on friendlies and injuries. I can't. If Ziyech gets injured, I'm not going to go. Yeah, he's staying in the team. It'd be ridiculous.
He's locked in his team, mate. You can't get rid of him now.
This is ridiculous.
Someone in the chat asked, are these guys best friends? And obviously they are best friends. They are more than best friends because they're bickering like 8-year-old lovers. It's amazing.
We are completely different people. And that's part of the reason why people kind of watch us, I guess. Because
I think it's great. It's so funny.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't talk to him if it weren't for FPL.
Steve-O, the rebuttal.
I didn't actually hear that. What was that? I was looking.
Oh, he's ignoring you now. No, he said that he wouldn't talk to you if it wasn't for FPL.
All right. That's technically what brought us together. The Tour by Elite. I know Dan's here, so.
Absolutely, and that's sort of the great thing about football. It brings everyone together, isn't it? But no. The thing is, I don't think that Steve-O is wrong. I just think that he's has a different opinion to me, and that's cool.
This is the point, though. This is why I'm literally blocking out everything. I don't want it. It's like this guy here. Who's his face? Justin something saying about I'd rather take him over. Who was it? Whoever. Justin Cohen. Steve-O, defense is too expensive, right? And it's not your team. It's my team. And this is exactly my point about like G-Wiz and everything, saying this play your own game. It's so true. And that's the biggest mistake I made last season. Reading chat, listening into other podcasts saying you should be doing this, this, and this. I'm not listening to it anymore. I'll listen to people like FPL. Like I've already mentioned them. Dave.
Right, I think you should just change your name to FPL Blackout.
That's already taken my fantasy football scout.
Is it really?
So,
to be fair, this burnout that you guys are talking about, how there's so much noise and there's so much things that everyone's saying exactly what you just said. Oh, your defense is too expensive. Your defense is not expensive enough. Oh, this 4.0 is better than this 4.0. All the rest of that is the whole reason why I created this mini series, is because like we can talk about strategy. And I don't have to even ask them, like, who's your goalkeeper? Who's your strikers? Oh, but what if you do this and that? Like, I didn't want... The first thing I said to when I was asking people to come on was literally, like, we are not going to be talking about any of your teams or drafts or players, so don't bring it up. Like, I just want to know, like, what you used to do with your wild card and what you might do later and what your perception is of hits and all the rest of it. That was the main reason, because of exactly what you guys are talking about, and the fact that everyone is talking all the time about the same stuff. I'm so close to swearing there. The exact same stuff. And,
be original, right?
It's just boring. It's just boring, 100%. So I totally get why you guys are, I'm turning down the noise a little bit. And also, it totally explains why you guys are diversifying into just bringing guests on and stuff, because it's about adapting the chat. And if you just stay the same, then you're absolutely going to fall behind. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at FBL Dave.
And if you are enjoying this, hit the like button. No, but seriously, I'm not an idiot. I'm going with a basic plan, and for me, I'm just thinking.
This is deja vu, mate. This is deja vu, because this is what you were saying last year. Okay, and then the game week would start
in the whole streaming thing, and I thought that I thought I'd be really clever and stuff, and listen to all this content and everything. It's mental.
Are you going to yeah, but that's the thing. How many times last season did you say I didn't follow my own advice? Was something that
that's
you
why
were
I'm
saying?
listening to that advice now by I'm going through with that advice. That's the point. That's the whole thing. We all learn from our mistakes. I'm learning from my mistake last season, and I've got to listen to it. And like I say, I've been watching Salah. I'm just thinking, forget it. An absolute waste of space.
No matter who you are and what team you've got, if you post it on social media, anywhere like Discord, you're going to get people that are going to critique it and tell you that you've made the wrong decision. That's human beings, because everyone's different. Everyone's got their own opinion, and they want to give you what they think is the best opinion. And ultimately, somebody, I can't remember who it was now. It was like, I had a good discussion with somebody on Twitter about whether or not, if you listen to content creators and you decide your team from listening or watching content creators, is it really your team? And of course it is. I mean, we had there was a lot of people chipping in on this thread, and ultimately it comes down to the fact that you're able to make your own choices in life, but you take advice all the way through your life in all different walks of like all different things, all different manners of subjects and things that happen throughout the course of your life. So why wouldn't you take advice in fantasy football? Because, you know, getting viewpoints, other people's viewpoints, to kind of see things outside of the box that you've confined yourself to is only beneficial. But the key is to make the decision yourself, not to be, like I say, you can go on to, no disrespect, Fantasy Football Scout, you can go on to our Discord, you could ask someone's advice between two players, and someone could say, get this player in, you jump on it. Is it really your decision? Or, you know, you've got to make that decision yourself. And ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that part of the reason that we are on YouTube doing what we do is because we want to make a conversation or keep talking about this conversation, getting people to come out, ring on the show, talk about their team, talk through to us about their picks, explain why they're choosing those players. You know, kind of like it's methodical, but it's also really therapeutic from someone that maybe has got their selection and they don't want to deviate from it because they don't know much more about, you know, the players that have been talked about, especially players coming up from the Championship. You know, there's a lot of great advice that can be gleaned from people that have watched a lot of Championship games, seen Leeds play. You know, Leeds fixtures aren't very good. Lots of people, before the fixtures were released, they were considering Leeds. Now, they're not. But, I really do think that... without going on too long a tangent, I really do think that getting that conversation going is good and healthy.
100%. To sum it up, Steve-O, your defense has got too much money in it. Just please sort it out, mate. No, I think you're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with searching for FPL knowledge, coming on streams, watching podcasts, all the rest of it, doing what you want to do, finding stuff. The only thing that I would say is wrong is actually telling people your choices are incorrect. Like, that's the only thing that's wrong. You can't do that in FPL because, like, I thought Antonio was wrong, but then it turns out he was right. But, you know, he shouldn't have really scored 5 goals, but it doesn't matter. It's not my team, so I can't be doing that. I 100% agree. I have just noticed that we've been streaming for 56 minutes, and I have washing behind me that you can see. So
is it dirty or clean?
No, it's absolutely drying, but I'm going to move it really, like, incognito, so don't tell anyone.
Is that a whiteboard? Is that a whiteboard on your wall?
No, it's The Hobbit. It's a poster of The Hobbit.
Oh, right. It's got all the words to The Hobbit on it.
But it's got the words to the entire book, yeah. I can show you. I can point to you my favorite chapter. No, but I'm going to really smoothly move the washing.
Go for it. We'll read some of the comments out in the chat while you do that. So hello to everyone in the chat that's tuning in. I sent my team for advice as 8 facts. Well, you need to come on the show and talk about it if you want us to talk about it. Hello, Lactic Man. I'm still waiting to see some of the colours of the member badges that are starting to change now. We've got blues and reds in there as well. And we're still waiting. I'm looking forward to the first gold. Dr. Poe there. That's the safe team, Steve-O. I like it, says Dr. Poe. There you go, Steve-O. Someone has given you positive feedback for your team. Too much money in defence, Nigel says there. FBL Dave loves a voice crack, says the Don.
100%.
Steve-O, what a rebel, says Henry Huang in the chat there. Don't listen to the moaners, Steve-O. What's Steve-O's bench? Says Dread FPL. Well, he's decided to cut that bit off.
4.5.
There we go. Are you going to go with Brewster? You thinking he might get a loan deal somewhere?
If he gets a loan deal, then yes, he's straight in.
Well, would you not consider just having him in just in case? Because obviously the window's for a while after the start of the season. Is it probably wise to get him in, or
but if Salah
in preparation,
I probably wanted to bring him in, wouldn't I?
Yeah. Steve-O's price points have gone a bit wrong. Oh, there you go. So price points. That's a good question. So well, I think what he's referring to is that the popular opinion is 212 million. Midfielder slots, so that you can switch. How much money have you got in the bank?
2.5. So Ali goes straight to Fernandes.
Hey, there we go. There you go.
Have you ever thought of putting Fernandes in your bench and just using your cheap players for one game week?
Nah.
Why wouldn't you do that? Because Ali, do you think he's going to bang against Everton?
He's done all right in the friendlies. He's done okay in the friendlies.
He got one too many Tottenham players, mate.
Is it worth 4 points though? I'm not saying you will take a hit, but let's just assume that all transfers cost you something, at least in the butterfly effect. And the only way we can really try and nullify the massive chat that we could have on the butterfly effect, let's just say transfers cost 4 points. Do you think Ali's going to make you a net positive in that regard if you're changing him game week 2?
It all depends. So versus Everton, I'd like to think you'll get an assist. Southampton again. I just work on the averages, and I reckon in the first 3 matches, Everton, Southampton, Newcastle, based on his form in the friendlies, he's got a very good chance of getting a goal and an assist.
Okay, whereas if he gets a goal and assist, then absolutely, that's the main thing. And it's again, I'm not too risky.
This whole thing that everybody's doing, which is including myself, which is I've got to get in Sterling, Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If they're doing it without a wild card, it may not happen.
Montasar in the chat makes a really good point. Why not Son instead of Ale if you've got 2.5 in the bank?
Because simply put, the fact that Son could be played out on the left and he's not as effective now. I'm only basing that on what I've heard on from James.
It's true. It's definitely true.
It is true. But I don't know. To me, I think Son is way more. I know what I'm going to get with Son.
Yeah,
like a
100%.
lot of work. The work rate is there with Son. He may at the 2, it would be Son all day long. If I had the 2.5, I agree with Montasar. I think I would probably upgrade to Son. If I was going to go triple Spurs for me would be Doherty, Son, and Kane. Ali is an outside pick. It is a massive differential. It could really, really pay off because he's going to be very low. The ownership's going to be really low on him. So you could really pay off there.
Yeah.
I
like the punt.
When he plays well, Ali can be really good. But to me, he's just too damn inconsistent for my liking. That's the only problem with Ali.
I don't mind you having a punt. It's definitely a course of Ali plus how low an ownership he is. Will that be better than Son playing out on the left? And I think like Son probably 9 times out of 10 gonna over the course of a season beat him no matter where he plays. But you could be very lucky game week 1, and if it doesn't pan out, you're already transferring him out anyway. So it's I can totally see where you're coming. And like we said before, there's no wrong answer, but I would definitely have Son as well. It's
the risk, isn't it? It's the risk of I mean, Son arguably I would say, and the stats will probably back it up as well if somebody was to dig them out. I think Son has got more of explosive points as well. I think that he's done really well in pre-season. Someone mentioned in the chat he scored 3 goals the other day. Is that right?
Yes.
So
2 goals,
but he was playing. You can't really take any of that into consideration because Kane.
3 goals in 3 games. 3 goals in 3 games. There we go.
He's playing a striker just now because Kane went a bit mental on holiday, I think. So he's being quarantined a bit. So I would take all of Spurs stuff with a pinch of salt, knowing that.
Yeah, but he's finally in the back of the net. I mean, you can, at the very least.
True.
But
will he get the ball
Will
he get the ball in the box as much as he has been in preseason because he's not playing in that position? Again, you're gonna have to take preseason with a pinch of salt anyway. But now you're 2 pinches of salt with Spurs. It's a bit dodgy. But I mean, I have had Kane in my drafts for the longest time, so I'm right there with you guys.
My first draft,
Spurs are good at it.
My first draft had Kane in, but like what you said about the fixtures, about the congestion, minutes, will they be managed? ? That's another thing to consider. You've got to think about these things going into the season because you're going to have to navigate through the fixtures with the blanks, with the City players that you're going to inevitably want to get in anyway. So it's food for thought.
That's true. Ali might be, if I was to think who would be dropped game week 1 for that midweek fixture that they've got, it would be Ali over Son. He would be dropped first, right? So Son would be less risky for even starting the game.
You would imagine so. You would imagine so, yeah. But I like the fact that Kane gives you that enabler to go to Aguero because I've got this feeling. I've got this. You talk about the butterfly effect. I have the butterfly effect in my gut that says that Aguero is going to come back and he's going to start he's going to just basically hit the ground running. I think that City are going to be the real deal this year. I think they're going to fly up the table. And Aguero is going to be at the top of the pile. He's going to be in the box. He's going to be getting the... Honestly, that 10.5, where so many people are stacking up in midfield with Aubameyang and Salah, going to have to take hits to get him in, if they want to, or an early wild card if it's that bad. I think Kane is that great it's a great option because he's got good fixtures, and it's also a good easy switch to Aguero if he does do something. So I like it.
Aguero is salivating. He's that price is so good.
Oh,
and
God.
The fact that Jesus wasn't very good when he was injured, when Aguero was injured, Jesus came on. He got a couple of goals, yes, but you expect a City striker to be at the focal point of any goals that are happening, to be that spear, especially the way they play with like one striker. And he just wasn't that good. He whiffed a lot of stuff. I can't see a world where Jesus gets into the team if Aguero's on.
The chances that Jesus was squandering, if Aguero was in that position, I think Aguero 100%. Would be almost up there with the golden boot. I think he would have either got been up there or got the golden boot for definite. I mean, the chances were there.
Yeah, he was incredible. The question then is, how many games does Aguero have to start before you bring him into your team for Kane? Because Kane's got decent fixtures. It's a difficult transfer to pencil in.
It's a brilliant question. Absolutely. You should be a podcast host.
I'll think about it.
I think it's a mixture of starts and it's also minutes. Like if we start to see him play 65 minutes going off, I think that I would still take the risk of bringing him in because we know that he can perform and do better than a lot of other players in 60 plus minutes than players that play 90. And somebody said in chat, KDB or Aguero. I mean, KDB is going to be the first considerable pick from Man City. But, again, out of the two of them, safety is a KDB, right? Risk is with Aguero, but the points are there with Aguero. We know that he can hit serious points. So that would be a case. I mean, will one game week be enough to kind of know what Pep's plan is with Aguero? No, but if he starts the game and plays 60, 70 minutes, you can pretty much guarantee, I don't want to say that word, you can pretty much be safe in the knowledge that Pep is putting Aguero ahead of Jesus in the pecking order, which he should do, because anyone that watches football knows that should be the case. Pep, if you're watching. And I think I'd be much more comfortable if Aguero was to start and play 60 minutes plus to bring him in my team. Yeah, definitely.
Good answer. All right, we're going to move on. No, I'm joking.
But no, we will move on. We've got people waiting in the waiting room to talk about FPL because we'll bring him in, but we're not just going to talk about the team. We're going to ask him a few questions as well. We are literally, what are we, 11 days away? Is that right? From the start of the season? It's going to really fly by. This week is going to go mental. We're going to be doing tonight. We've got tomorrow night, Wednesday, Thursday night. We've got Saturday night with JNO. That's if you don't already know. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. JNO will be with us on Saturday evening. Awesome. So that'll be another day where we're going to be doing a monster stream. So, and then next week, it's just going to be content galore. Steve-O's going to be doing streams during the day. I'm going to be doing streams during the evening. It's just going to be mental. And obviously people are going to start melting down as we approach the weekend. I can guarantee that much. Let's bring in Semi-Sweet Potato, because Semi-Sweet Potato is probably listening to me now. He's got his mic muted, but Semi-Sweet Potato has actually done a lot for us in the community, especially on Discord recently and on the website. Semi-Sweet Potato is the man behind the score predictor game that he's absolutely just basically taken and just from the ground up, we've built a score predictor game that's at play.elitefpl.com or elitefpl.com, and then go into the score predictor. It's free for everyone. It's in part of the community. Myself and Steve will be using it coming the game week previews. We're going to be predicting the game, the results, and also there's some really cool things in there like the top scorer. So definitely get involved in that. And Semi-Sweet Potato, can you hear me?
That was quite an intro, Jason. I'm glad to be on the show. Good evening.
You deserve every bit of praise, my friend. We honestly, we really are grateful with the amount of work and time that you've put into that predictor game, and also the new thing that you've released today into our Discord, which is what, Semi-Sweet Potato? Do you want to tell everybody?
So we had a bot that allowed you to look up the stats of any player. I'll admit some of its functionality was pretty badly coded. For example, if you did info Jack, it would give you the first player it finds named Jack. If you did info Antonio, it would give you Antonio Rudiger, and maybe you wanted Mikhail Antonio. So you'd have to specify Mikel Antonio.
So it was really clunky in the sense of usability. It wasn't really that good. But you've basically you built a new bot, and it's now available to use in our Discord. And what can you do then? What sort of things can you find out from this bot?
So it will just if you type in a player's name that might be ambiguous, it will give you a message that's like, it will give you a list of all the players that it found that fits the bill, and then you will just select the one you want, and it will give you a bunch of stats that you want for that player. So, for example, someone's testing it out right now. They just pulled out Antonio of West Ham.
Let me just try it out. I'll just use it on the stream right now. So basically, I'm going to go into the player lookup on the Discord, and I can see loads of people have done it already. So if I want to, name me a player. Dave, go on.
Aguero.
Okay. So Aguero will, I take it, will come up.
You put the sign on the. You put the command.
Wrong way. There we go. This is exactly.
Everyone's trying to confuse.
There we go. Aguero, perfect. Right. So what we can see, we can see here that you've got the price tag of Aguero. You've got the amount of points that he scored to date in that respective season. Obviously, that will reset. Am I right? Come game week 1, that will go back to 0.
It will.
Yeah, and cool. I see that you've got.
Oh wow!
When you type in silver, it comes up with loads of options that you can type. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And Portuguese last names are weird.
It gives you the amount of points per 90 as well, which is a really cool. I really like that stat. Points per 90.
Look at Aguero's.
I know.
Aguero's is so good.
8.2. 8.2. Oh god, that's amazing. 8.2 points per 90 minutes play, and obviously he didn't play that many games. 16 goals in the games that he did play. He's owned by 4.5% of the game.
I knew I would pick the right player. Just listening to you, watching all his stats come up on screen.
It's there on a silver plate for you to just buy him.
There you go. There you go, Steve.
So yeah, besides that, I kind of wanted to talk to FBL Dave about strategy, because I feel like we're sort of thinking on similar lines. I'm also planning an early bench boost.
Okay.
I'm going to bring your team up, sweet. 1 second. You carry on talking, sorry.
It's a bit over the place right now, but the price points are somewhat there.
Awesome. Right.
Talk us through
my thinking for this. So I have McCarthy, and I hear that Thier is the preferred option at Villa. It's nice to have a playing 4 million. And then I've gone Trent, Doherty, and Tierney as some big defenders, and then potentially Dallas and Justin. Those two are still up in the air. And then in the midfield, it's Aubameyang, Son, Souček. Those ones will start game week 1. And then Saka could become any 5.5. I've looked at St. Maximin, Armstrong as well, but I might keep it on Saka. Maybe just fan bias. And then Mitrovic, Ings, and Antonio up top. Really want to take advantage of that West Ham Newcastle fixture in game week 1. And then I've left 0.5 in the bank. I do have a couple ways to get out of Antonio. I'm going to be... Well, there are two options. I could go to Chris Wood, who Burnley have a nice run, but I'm just not sure he'll score that many. And then there's also Calvert-Lewin, who I could afford. He obviously no goals since restart, but he was putting a lot of shots. You imagine he'll put them away, especially if Everton get their midfield targets, such as James and Allen. But my thinking is game week 2 bench boost, not game week 1, but 2. And the reason,
I like
the
that.
reason why I want to use an,
yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, why did I think of that? Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, hear me out. The reason why I want to use a bench boost early is because it takes a lot of effort to set one up and also to get out of one. Like, it's sort of two things you're doing. You want to build the bench boost, then you want to get rid of it. So you're using a wildcard to set it up, and then you'll have to use a lot of transfers to get rid of it, so you have a team that can compete. This is late in the season. But early in the season, when your team value is low when all your bench players are going to be cheap anyway, you can still build a pretty competitive bench boost team early on. Like, I'm obviously hinging on clean sheets. Like, I'm looking at game week 2, looking at the fixtures that stand out for clean sheets. There's Everton, and not Everton, West Brom could be low scoring. Villa, Sheffield will probably be low scoring. Newcastle, Brighton, Leeds, Fulham. There are a couple of fixtures there in game week 2 that just scream clean sheet potential. So extracting that out of 4.5 defenders could be a good play.
Okay, so 2 things that we'll need to discuss then if you're going to do it game week 2 instead of game week 1. The first thing that screams out to me is the reason why bench boost game week 1 is so enticing is, like we've talked about, there's less teams to pick, less problems for you, less big hitters, because you don't have to pick City players, you don't have to pick United players, and it means that whoever you do pick in that case, there's going to be a bunch of other people that have the opposite player to you. You pick KDB, someone's got Aguero, and eventually, it's too cluttered. So that's number one. Is there's a lot more clutter in Game Week 2 than there is in Game Week 1. The second thing is that how many fires could you potentially get in Game Week 1 before you decide not to bench boost? So, for example, you're starting with this team. Say Mitrovic gets injured, Antonio doesn't start.
Mitrovic gets sent off. More realistic.
Yeah, okay, right, fine. Salmon kicks someone in the face or something, right? So you have to have a plan there, because if you have maybe 4 fires, you've got to take 2 hits or something by game week 2 to make this bench boost viable. Does that mean you're going to stop? Because there's no wrong answer to this. It's just that you would definitely need to think about, like, you know what, my team's actually a mess. It's not the best time. I'm not going to be able to utilize this bench boost enough. So where's the number for you in that regard? Because both of those problems that I've just suggested are absolutely taken away for the game week 1 bench boost plan.
You bring up a couple of good points there. I haven't ruled out a game week 1 bench boost either, but my current team is set up for a game week 2 bench boost. However, totally. I have tried setting up a game week 1 bench boost draft, but the issue with that is, how quickly will I be able to get rid of those players to bring in the rest? But you imagine that would be the same either way. Like,
I mean, the beauty of the game week 1 bench boost is the less teams playing. You're not going to have the Manchester Cubs playing as a smaller pool of players, but also you're going to also gain the benefit of having people jumping on players or bandwagons and getting the price rises as well. And I think it's the navigating your way into a bench boost and then like steering your way out of it. So like I said earlier on, picking that. When we were talking about it, and Nathan Bacon was saying that when we had the unlimited transfers after the game had paused itself, and we had the bench boost, we saw ridiculous scores. Why did we see that? Because we had freedom. We had freedom to set our teams up with any player we wanted for that bench boost. Boom! That was ridiculous. Some of the scores, you're getting 130 plus scores that week. Generally a double game week bench boost, your bench players getting 2 points, 3 points, double. There is sound logic in a game week 1 bench boost. Absolute sound logic. If there's anyone in chat that disagrees with it, that's fine. That's cool. But there is sound logic, in my opinion, and I think that the more you think about it, it's not a bad idea, and I might end up doing it.
We're back to your strategy. I love that. Going back to the game week 2 bench boost though, I think that there's so much potential with that as well, because what the pros that you have, because I've just mentioned 2 problems, right? And that's everyone jumps to the problems with people's strategies first, but I'm gonna layer a little bit of positivity on it, is that you're gonna know a whole lot more information than anyone bench boosting game week 1. You're gonna absolutely know for certain who's injured, who's not, who's starting, who's not, who those 4.0s are, and you can really utilize that bench boost because of that. The downside to that positivity is that, can you do anything about that? Because like you said, wildcarding the week before is advantageous because you can set your team up. However, you just did that already, and you've got a game week in between. So how many hits is it going to take you if, like I said before, it turns out that none of your 4.0s are going to start, et cetera, et cetera. But I definitely think that your strategy is 100% viable.
I think if I wanted
you would
to
just need to nail it. You would need to nail that starting game week 0.
If I was going to bench boost game week 2, it'd have to be Man City players I'd have to feature in on that bench boost.
Yeah, you'd have to get them in. Yeah, that's
I
the
know,
other thing.
man.
Like,
that's the
Wolves
thing. Because no one's going to have Man City
anymore.
You know, if I no,
yeah,
you're right, and I think that
I don't
Man
think Wolves
City.
is a bad fixture.
I think Man City will obviously be a game behind. They want to prove something. They want to kick off the season really well, and no one's going to own Man City players unless they've benched them for game week 1, or they've taken a transfer to get one of them in, or and people are eyeing up Bruno Fernandes as well. So they can only get like one Manchester player in. So essentially,
yeah,
it's
you're one up on the first game week. Although, do you remember who they're playing game week 1?
What?
Tuesday.
Do you remember who City are playing game week 1 though?
Game week 1.
Yeah,
it's
or game week 2 rather.
Oh, game week 2. Yeah.
City are playing Wolves in their first game week. So if you're bringing in a bunch of City players and hoping that they bang, that's so hard to jump on.
But I don't think Wolves is a hard fixture anymore. I think City's wingers will look to exploit the wide areas because
really.
And then got Traore. They ain't got Traore to bully them in that game.
Potentially.
And
no more Doherty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so potentially Wolves' wide areas can be targeted by City. So
I will say that there's no better time to play Wolves than when they don't have Traore and Doherty. That's for sure. So 100%.
And they're still desperately hunting in the market for some wing backs.
Yeah, Maitland-Niles, etc., etc. I like it.
I think we're tying him down.
You came up with something really, really special, mate. I have never heard anyone since this game began saying I'm going to bench boost game week 2, and to make it sound so attractive. Yeah, well done, man.
Yeah, either 1 or 2. Like if I set up a very good game week 1 bench boost team, I might roll with that. But either way, I'm going to use the chip by the end of game week 2. You can bet on that.
Steve, what do you think?
Go on, Steve. Yeah.
I'm just looking at this team and I just think it's superb. A way of me creating more money myself is by downgrading Robertson to Tierney. That is a genuine thought. You're a massive fan of his, aren't you, Dave? Tierney.
Mm-hmm.
He's
really
I've
been watching him for a long time. Long time. Yeah, I really like him.
And are you Scottish?
Yes, I'm a Celtic fan actually, so it kind of fits in with the whole liking Tierney thing.
Oh
yeah, man.
We got a hell of a player from you.
Yeah,
I know, it's ridiculous. He didn't go for enough money. C'est la vie. But yeah, no, Tierney is 100% gonna bang a very large percentage, and a lot of people think that he's injury risky, and that might be the case a little bit because of how in depth his injuries were last season. But genuinely, he is the fittest player that you will see. Like he will play 90 minutes and he won't stop. And if he gets injured, then fair enough. But if he is fit, he is going to be, the level of fitness that Arsenal really don't see very often. Let's be honest. Like Guendouzi, maybe Xhaka, but a lot of players in Arsenal kind of dropped off 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go, and then might get a cheeky goal. Like but Tierney playing will keep your players on their toes. Like there's never going to be a time where he won't find a ball into the box between 0 minute and 90 minutes. That's why I think he's going to be so effective, because Arsenal definitely need something like that. So we do. Massive fan.
Him and Saka on the left, and then finding Aubameyang up there. Our left flank is going to be brutal. Watch out.
Yeah. Semi-sweet, thank you for coming on, man. We're going to get through some more callers, but you're an absolute star for doing what you do, and thank you for sharing your awesome strategy, because I think that it's a very different one that people will be considering. Thank you, dude. I'll speak to you soon.
So much. Good guy.
Cheers.
How do you top that call, man? Oh my goodness.
So we love variety on the show. It's like there's nothing worse. Sorry for anyone that's done this, but coming on the show with the same team, bring on something different. Let's engage the conversation. That's really quite thought provoking. That strategy, that team, like it. We've got some people in the waiting room. We'll bring someone on in a moment. In fact, you can choose someone in a second. I'm just going to quickly see what people are saying in the comments. Who does everyone think will win the Golden Boot this season? Says FPL Penguin in the chat. So we'll start with you, Steve-O. Who are you going to predict to win the Golden Boot 2020 to 2021?
Kane.
Oh.
If he stays fit.
Okay, with a caveat.
He's locked in, lads. 100%. He's fuming too. I'm so sorry, Steve. I love you.
FBL Dave.
I'm gonna say Aguero just for funsies. I think if he does, then FPL is gonna get a whole lot better if he's up there.
If he's fit, I'm inclined to agree. I think that City will go mental this year. I think we'll see silly scorelines again, 4, 5, 6 goal thrillers, and I think Aguero is going to be involved.
When was the last time you seen City start a season where they're out for blood and revenge because of how humiliated they have been in the last maybe 20 games? I am scared of City on a good day. Whenever my keeper or a defender's come up with City, you always try and bench them. You do not want a situation with Burnley again, right? So imagine that, but they're also angry at you. That is so terrifying. And I want a piece of that action. Definitely.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And there's people screaming Sterling in the chat. Sterling is another one. I think 100%, if he has a good season, he could definitely be up there challenging for the Golden Boot. But I'm going to go with Timo Werner for Chelsea. I think the signings that Chelsea have done are scary, quite frankly. I think as a United supporter, I'm worried. I'm worried that we're not going to get top 4. It's going to be so hard to try and break into that top 4 spot. And I think Werner, if he's going to be the starter for Chelsea, which I think he will be, he's going to have so much service from Pulisic, Ziyech. Chilwell now as well. It's the signings have been spot on. Okay, the defense is still not amazing, but
I heard they were trying to sign Donnarumma, and if that's the case,
I've heard
every football manager save that I've ever had ever in my whole life.
It's like I'm playing Championship Manager.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the best ever.
Yeah, I play Championship Manager 102 with the latest patch up to the recent years and stuff, and it's like it's literally like those players you bring in that just the Galacticos that you just bring in and have a mental season with. They've just done really, really good business. And it's quite and it's a complete stark contrast to what United have done so far. Van de Beek is I think he'll do good, but is it the position we desperately need? That's the question.
And they spent a lot of money. I feel like they could have just bought McGinn. Do you know what I mean? He could have just bought McGinn and had him, and he's been in the Premier League. He's going to cover the same kind of areas. He's attacking. He's down. You probably could have got him for 25 million.
Well, the thing is that
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but we have got no depth in our squad, so I can see why we bought him. He had a great season, Ajax, and I think
True.
I think I can see the logic in getting him, but as long as he's one of a few that we get, if he's just the only signing we get, then I'm going to be like, this guy, okay, Europa League, here we go. But let's bring on another caller. And do you want to choose someone in the list, Dave?
Pick Liam. Liam H. Yes.
Liam H9625 to be exact. Good evening, Liam. How are you doing?
Liam, your mic's muted, buddy.
Just need to press the magical button.
He's a long-time watcher of my show, and he told me he was going to be here to speak, so I've picked him. How's it going, man?
Dave. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much for coming and having a wee swatch at me on the big screen, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Liam, what have you got to say, Liam?
Well, I've changed my draft quite a bit since last time.
Nice one.
I'm still a bit unsure if I want Son or not, because Son last year, every time I had him, he got sent off.
Exact same, 100%. Nearly swore again.
I'm not. I don't know if you got my team up on the screen.
I've got your team up on the screen. Just talk us through who would you take out to bring in Son then?
It would have to be Ings. I looked at it and I thought Ings did well. Ings did well for me last season when I had him. So I was a bit like, do I trust Son again, or do I go with someone who I've had success with? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I will bring Steve-O's thoughts in on this. Steve-O, looking at Liam's team there, McCarthy in goal, people listening on audio, McCarthy in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Davis, Justin, Saint-Maximin, Aubameyang, Salah, Souček, Mitrovic, Werner and Ings. A very nice, strong, I would say safe, relatively safe team there. Steve-O, what's your thoughts of him taking Ings out to fund a Son? Obviously, it would be Greenwood, I'd imagine you'd upgrade. Is that right?
Yeah, because it'd be Greenwood to Son, and then from game week 2, Son would be Bruno.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Steve-O.
Do you think it's really worth the transfer for that one game week? If you're already planning on getting rid of Son, if this is a team already set up for game week 1, is it really worth for that one game week?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, is it worth getting Son in? And
no. The answer's no.
Kind of,
in my opinion, no.
Yeah, I totally agree, Steve. Like, Ings is going to be a season keeper. You could probably keep him there. He's going to get a goal every couple of games, might even get a brace. Son's going to be a streaky player. He's going to get 5 good game weeks, and then everyone's going to bring him in, and he's going to do nothing for another 10 game weeks. And you're going to have to hold him all season until you find out what streak you can keep him for. By that time, Ings has already surpassed him. So I absolutely agree. I think your team's amazing just now, Liam. Yeah. I really like it. Your price points are spot on. The only thing I would say is I kind of prefer Mitrovic's money to be in midfield, but I've tried to tinker with 6 million and less players, and the same couple keep coming back. So it's either Mitrovic up there or maybe get a big hitting defender, but everything else is pretty spot on.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then obviously from game week 3, Aubameyang will go to Kevin De Bruyne.
The classic.
I honestly can't wait when Aubameyang scores 4 goals in 2 and everybody's like, I'm not getting rid of him now. I can't wait.
That's going to be that.
Is that because you're going to do it anyway? Is that why? You can't wait because you're going to do it and everyone's going to stay on, because everyone's going to stay on Aubameyang and he's going to do nothing. And I can't wait to be the only person to have Kevin De Bruyne, because that's exactly what I'm thinking, mate. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I think you got it wrong. I think Salah's the one that's going to make way, because I don't think people put him such on high pedestal. But I think my way into the Man City team is going to be for that Salah money that everyone's holding on to. That's my only point.
Ben Dinnery said the exact same thing. I was recording with him today, and we got asked the exact same thing, Salah or Mane or whatever, right? And he was like, "There is not a year that goes by where I don't bet against Salah and lose, but eventually if I keep doing the same bet, I will win. So Mane." And he makes up every point. Salah can't keep being the best asset in the Premier League. Like, he eventually will retire. So I mean, like, either he drops or he retires. And I think you could probably bet that 4 years in a row of being near the top, I don't know. He's had his dues. I could definitely see him dropping. Although I am not going to bet that. I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is on that. I'm going to have Salah until he shows signs of wavering.
Yeah, because it's a massive risk not to
100%.
have Salah, because you know how explosive he can be.
Perfect, man.
So Liam, can I ask how long have you been tuning into FBL Dave?
We checked, didn't we, on our last Twitch stream? He did the followage thing, and it came up like 1 year and 1 month. He's probably one of my first followers, weren't you, Liam?
Yeah,
and he'd been subbing so long that we've actually technically could have had a baby. It was like 9 months sub or something, the longest sub I'd had. It's amazing.
Yeah, Dave's advice has been, he's given me some good advice, but this season I'm still gonna listen to your advice, but I feel like I need to make my own.
Yeah.
Play your own game, and 100%.
Go a bit more with my gut feeling.
Liam, what's your thoughts on him moving over to YouTube now, do you think that Twitch has been spoilt, really, hasn't it? Haven't they, really, with the amount of time that he's spent streaming on their platform? I think YouTube is definitely the home for FPL Dave, and I think he's going to be welcomed with open arms. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think he's made there.
Thank you very much, guys. You're making me blush.
There you
so
go, man. Let's get makeup on next. Liam, you got any final thoughts before we move on to the next caller, my friend? I mean, your team's looking pretty solid, mate. Don't jump on that Son bandwagon for one game week. I agree with Steve-O and Dave.
Thanks, Jason.
Cheers, buddy.
That'll be all. Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much, man. I appreciate it. It was nice to speak to you finally.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, Liam. You take care, mate. Yeah. Hope to speak to you again soon, dude. Take care, mate. Cheers.
Bye, man.
Cheers. Liam there. Liam H9625, long-term supporter of FPL Dave there. First time. Was that your first time speaking to him?
Yeah, first time ever. Because I live in Scotland, so any meetups or anything that's happening are too far for little old Dave to travel. So I've never seen him or spoke to him. I don't do call-ins. This is very fun, though. I might start.
Yeah.
Although I tend to drink on my streams, and it might get a little bit, abusive. But oh
well. We've got some other people in the queued up in the waiting room, but I was going to read some of the comments out. Thoughts on Matt Doherty joining Spurs? Do you think that's a good question? Actually, do you think Matt Doherty joining Spurs is good or bad for FPL? Steve-O?
It's good. Playing for a better team.
Playing for a better team, will you have the same sort of freedom to go forward and create for the likes of Kane and co?
Oh, absolutely. I think I saw someone on Twitter posting, you can see it all year round, Doherty assist, Kane goal. That's what I'm thinking.
Dave?
I 100% disagree. I have no idea why he would move to Spurs. Like, Wolves play with such freedom for him in his position. I've never seen a right back in the last 2 years get so many touches in the box, so many shots on goals. Wolves had been set up perfectly for him. And although, yes, Aurier kind of plays almost as up top as he would, the attack is so different, and Doherty's not going to be able to be. He almost plays like an inside forward for Wolves, where he is running through. He's letting either Traore do all the trek up to the byline, and Doherty kind of swings in behind him, and that's been the dynamic duo. In Spurs, I reckon he's going to be the one that's out wide all the time. And yes, he's going to cross it in, but we're not going to see those Doherty goals, those classic tap to the other player from inside the box, because he was getting a lot of his assists, which were just classic passes from in and around the box to Jimenez, especially season 18-19. So to then move to Spurs, I mean, yes, technically I would say that Spurs overall are a better team, but Wolves have been flying the last 2 seasons. I think they finished above them last season, didn't they? So it's a tough one, and for only that little bit amount of money, I think that Doherty has Spurs. For Spurs, it's the best signing I've seen them do in a long time. What a signing! Because
what a steal as well.
Cheap.
He's really cheap, so yeah.
Cheap. So, but that's not to say he's not going to still be a good FPL asset. I just think for me, he had way more freedom, especially under the manager that he was playing in, and now he's going to be playing under a kind of defensive-ish manager who doesn't utilize I think, Doherty's best strengths. But there you go.
No, I completely see it. See both arguments, really. People are expecting him to continue his attacking returns, and Spurs and other people are slightly more cautious with the same sort of opinion to you, where like you said, Wolves essentially formed a team around him to play that role, and the team kind of knew his role. It will be very interesting. Again, we talk about sample data, we talk about watching the games. This is key. Watch Matt Doherty. Watch what he's being told to do. Watch where the heat maps as well. See where he's spending time on the field. So key. Even if it's only 1 or 2 game weeks, it's really, really good information. Especially people 100%. Looking to wildcard early or bring him in. Do you want to choose someone, Steve-O, in the waiting room to bring on?
I think he's there. I think Joe Hetherington should be in there.
Who, sorry?
Joe Hathrington, he's put his team in the thing and he's not there. Typical.
No, he's gone.
Let's bring on a Stevie Jackson. I remember him from your from last season.
Stevie Jackson is live on the air now. He's just got his microphone muted. Stevie, if you could unmute yourself, my friend. You're live with myself, Steve-O, and Dave. Will he unmute himself? That is a question. Stevie, are you there?
I couldn't find the button.
Stevie, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm not bad, yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad also. Thank you for joining us this evening on air. Have you posted your team in the live stream screenshots channel at all? Oh, he's doing it now, isn't he? That's what he's doing. But anyway, you're live with myself, Steve-O, and Dave. What have you got to say?
How he's doing anyway? Are you excited for the new season? I've just posted my team as well.
Cool, no worries. Yeah. Well, I've always said I am. Yeah, I definitely am. Dave,
I'm 100%. Yeah, like I can't wait.
No, I think we just need to go. You know what? Bloody dragging on a bit, innit?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, if it started tomorrow, I'd be like so much more into it. I've just I think I've burned myself out with too many drafts and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've just been tinkering nonstop, and then now I'm just like, right. I really wish it was this weekend, not next weekend. But I'm absolutely 100% looking forward to it. I didn't know it was me to speak next. That's why I was such a gap. But I definitely have enthusiasm for the season, 100%.
Steve-O, can you put a smile on your face and pretend to be excited for the new season?
I'm more excited for Stevie's team here because I think you're taking the mick. Zaha, Barnes, Bowen. What's going on?
No, hear me out. I'm just going to use the bench boost first week and
here we go.
cut all the -4s and people not having Man City players. Then just go on heavy Man City because I think they're going to smash it next season.
They are.
Thank you. Thank God someone's agreeing with me at last.
I can get 3 Man U players in. I can get Greenwood, Fernandes, and maybe one of the defenders without having to take a hit. I can get in Kevin De Bruyne and maybe Foden if it's a risk. And then I don't have to take any minuses. Barnes has got an easy first game. Salah versus Southampton. Saha's been looking good. I've got 2 West Ham. I've got arguably all the best defenders playing in game week 1. So hopefully I'll be ahead of everyone by game week 1.
You were doing really well last year. Where did you end up in the end?
I finished top 4K.
Oh,
congrats, man!
Wow, that's crazy.
But
you ended up where? Sorry,
top 4K. Might be top 5.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done.
But last season I used all my chips by game week 3, except the triple captain. I'd done exactly last year. Start with a bench boost, and I think I started with. Obviously, it was when Liverpool went ham anyway. But I started with a huge score again. And then just wildcarded to a good team the second week as well. But
Dave, the second bench booster we've had on tonight. We've had Semi-Sweet Potato going to be doing it game week 2, but now Stevie's game week 1.
I don't think it's momentum. It's going to be. There's not going to be as many turns as there was last season with the bench boosts, and it's not going to be till after game week 18 anyway, where double game week will come in with games. So I'll just keep my second wild card until then, and then use it from there. I think bench boost's overrated, and obviously if it's a double game week, obviously everyone was fortunate this time around that we could do unlimited transfers. But normally using your bench boost, you're constantly thinking, "Oh, 2 keepers in. I need 2 playing keepers all season." When if you do a game week 1, it's done. You can pick 2 keepers you think is going to keep a clean sheet. Then you just wild card game week 2, and then obviously if you get injuries, it's unlucky. But obviously it's a little bit better this time around with Man City and Man U not being game week 1 because it's so much easier and worth doing the wild card because you can bring them in because you're not going to have them in. So it justifies last year it probably didn't justify using a wild card game week 2, but this year you can, and knowing your team's going to be better. And you're going to be ahead of everyone.
I don't like Zaha, man. I don't like Zaha. That's the only.
I was literally about to be like, there's 4 players in your team I do not like.
No, I think your logic is absolutely sound. I really 100%. Do. And I think we will be very surprised come game week 1 once it kicks off to see how many people are doing this. I think a lot more people are going to do this than we realise. And I'm expecting monster hauls on this Sunday surgery.
Oh.
We're gonna have people gloating. We're gonna have people absolutely gloating. I can hear it now.
I think there's 4 players in my team who we've got a chance. It's Salah, James, because I don't know if he's going to start. Justin, because I've obviously got 0.5 million. And then Antonio, I don't know why. I might, if that Brewster goes to Sheffield United, I can then have 2 million spare.
Dave, you look at this team. Steve-O obviously had his say about it initially, but you're about to say something, and I just cut you off.
No, that's okay. You were about to ask me what I think, and I was about to tell you. So your Wolves defense in Leno, I'm not 100% sure. I'm 100% sure that you will probably be taking Leno out if it turns out that he's probably not going to start. But that's an obvious
the Arsenal
one.
cover.
Yeah,
but what
fair
I'll do
play.
is if he doesn't, I'll put an Arsenal centre back, and then I'll just put the Chelsea keeper in goal, because obviously they'll cover the fancy Chelsea. Brighton don't score many goals, so the Leno, if he doesn't start, it'll be Kepa, because he's obviously going to start what you would expect, and then obviously I'd put maybe David Luiz or someone in defence, because obviously there's always chance for a set piece.
Yeah, I mean, Saliba's probably a really good shout. Now, someone sent me this. Hold on, I'm going to read it out because it was really, really interesting. Talking about the actual set pieces of Arsenal. I can't believe this came up, by the way, because it's a perfect thing. But right, so I'm going to read this out. It's from Josh. He sent me on Twitter. So shout out if you're listening, Josh, right? Arsenal's new set piece coach, Andreas Georgsson, has just arrived from my club Brentford. The season just gone and clearly targeted the player in our team with the best jumping ability, centre-back Ethan Pinnock, 6'4". Ethan would always make runs at corners from the middle of the goal, just in front of the keeper, and would quickly peel off to just past the back post, and would get his head on most corners, heading the ball at goal or across the goal. He scored a few last season, assisted a few too, and what he's saying is that William Saliba, is the exact same height, the exact same type of centre-back. So if they've brought in Saliba, who's potentially going to be starting, and they also have a set-piece coach that they brought from Brentford that have clearly used a similar tactic to one that they could establish in Arsenal, I think he's a very good shout for set pieces, and he's not a red card merchant like David Luiz. So at 4.5, he's better than what a lot of people... I mean, already 4.5 Arsenal defender is pretty good. But the fact that has also been sent across my way, I'm like, yes, that's what we're talking. I actually think that if you were to bring Saliba in, I would leave James and maybe double up on the Chelsea defence and then have Vinagre out, because Sheffield United aren't bad at attacking. I know Wolves are good at defence, but if you're going to be wildcarding anyway, you could totally jump on them later on. And it means you could have Saliba and Tierney and James and Kepa, like you suggested.
Yeah,
Zaha's someone that you could leave or take. That's absolutely fine.
It's just a risk.
I've been burnt by him. I've been burnt by him too many times. Man.
I would rather probably punt on Etsy, or however you pronounce his name. Easy.
I was going to go for Silo from Tottenham, but then I thought that's too many Tottenham players against Everton.
Yeah, fair play.
I just want to quickly interject. Sorry, but there has apparently been confirmed news that James Rodriguez is now an Everton player. If you'd have told me that 5 years ago, I'd have laughed you to death. Pretty much. Fair play, Everton. It'd be interesting to see how much he's going to be priced at.
That's definitely a player I'll be bringing in. While Everton's fixtures after Tottenham are decent,
Everton's are good.
Yeah, he'll definitely. You could even bring in Calvert-Lewin now, couldn't you? I know it's risky going double Everton, but for 4 or 5 games, they've got really good fixtures.
I feel sorry for Siggy. I remember him at Swansea absolutely banging, and now you look at him getting replaced by a Colombian World Cup goal scorer that went mental and went to Real Madrid for no reason at all other than a goal at the World Cup. I just
what
feel
a goal
sad
that
for
was,
Siggy.
by the way.
I know, it was. Everyone remembers it. He got a contract at Real Madrid for it, but
one goal, £56 million. That'll do.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, your team is banging for a Gameweek 1. No ifs or buts about it. I would be slightly worried that you have a lot of punts. Your option. I mean, clearly you had a much better ranking as me doing this last season. So just tell me to shut up. But my suggestion would be to have less differentials in the team and try and solidify the fact that the differential you're taking is actually the bench boost option, as opposed to also then throwing. Let me just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 differentials. So 6 of them in there, kind of core teams that you'll see a lot, and then almost half your team are punts on top of an already very punty risky strategy. So that's all. That's the only thing that I would caveat.
Yeah, I get that. I just think
a bit risky.
I could bring in Aubameyang, and then obviously take out Salah. But then I think if it's a 1 week punt, I'd trust Barnes and Salah to score more points than Aubameyang in a 5 million play, if that makes sense. Because with it only being a 1 game week punt, I'd rather have 2 okay players than 1 really good player. Obviously, it could backfire. Aubameyang could score 20 points, but I'd rather have a chance of having Barnes is normally really good for Leicester when Leicester play well, and Salah is Palace. So I've just tried to go for the best players. Like, I'm not looking at prices this week, the first game week. Prices are irrelevant. I'm just looking for players I think will perform when the team performs. If Crystal Palace do well, it's always Salah, goal, assist, penalties. Leicester, if Vardy scores, it's 9 times out of 10 Barnes with the cross. So I've just went for the main players of each team for no prices. Like, Salah could be 10 million. I'm going to pick him just because I feel like he'll do something first game of the season.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think it's a definite strategy that obviously a lot more people than I thought would be doing it.
Yeah.
Are doing.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer, the bench boost and wildcard. With Man City and Man U not playing, you can justify bringing in 5 players on a wildcard without having to take any hits. And no one else can have them 5 players unless they've screwed themselves first week and had no players, or took a -12, and then you're -12. You're already 12 points ahead of that person.
Yeah, plus the points you've got on your bench boost as well on top of them. Yeah,
I think it's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's a risk, but then you could use a bench boost in a game where you think, oh, this is going to be a good week, and it just how many times does it backfire? So I think first week, get it out the way. You don't have to worry about having a second keeper then. You don't have to worry about 2 of your subs. All you need is 1 playing sub. So there's 4 million there. You've saved yourself like $1 million or 2 just for players who don't have to play, because you never have to worry about a bench boost again.
Absolutely. Hello to J&O in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Looking forward to having you on Saturday evening. No, I mean, to be fair, I mean, what else can we say? It's just a case of, great strategy. I think we're going to see a lot more of it. Stevie, any final thoughts?
No, I'm just good luck, and I hope everyone does better than they did last year.
Well, no, I don't. I hope
everyone who has the exact same team as me does well. That's what I hope.
I hope everybody that finished above me last season doesn't. There we go.
I've just seen in chat someone say Stevie's a very convincing man. If it backfires this and everyone else has done it, I'm not being responsible.
We've all seen it. We can all see what your face looks like, mate. It's on your Discord picture.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pick the wrong logo, my friend.
Should go with Dave. He's just got a generic guy with glasses on. There you go.
That's true. I don't even wear glasses, so there you go. It's all a bit of hocus pocus.
What's going on there, man?
Oh, it's just the lights. It's the lights.
Somebody needs to design a new logo, guys. It's all good, man. It's all good.
So have any of you actually considered bench boosting, or you just...
Yeah.
Jason is so... I was going to swear. Is so ready for it.
I think it's 80% probably the best thing. I think Willian as well. Obviously, does anyone think Willian will start?
Oh, that's the problem, isn't it? He's the exact same amount as Pepe as well. And what happens if they do buy Zaha and they succumb to the peer pressure of their entire fan base? Like, that's another winger. It's very difficult for me to pick any of them because I don't want to play someone who's lost the hang.
If someone told me now Willian would start, he'd be in my team. No brainer.
Same. Yep, 100%. 2 games, perfect games, wild card early, sorted. I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Stevie, I'm mindful we've got a lot of other people wanting to get on the show tonight as well. So
I'll let them get on. No problem, mate. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, speak soon, mate. Come on again. Cheers, dude. Legend Stevie there. Stevie Jackson. Can't even speak. Stevie Jackson coming on the show talking to us about his bench boost strategy, wildcard game week 2 into the lovely Man City assets that everyone's going to be jumping on. So, what are people talking about in the chat? What are they saying about Stevie's team, Steve-O? Have you been reading through any of the comments?
No. I don't read the comments.
Oh, I'll tell you. So, Paulie actually came back with he said that Saliba, who I was talking about with the free kicks and the old header, he actually scored today for Arsenal at a set piece. Exactly what we were talking about there. So that's very interesting, isn't it? Thanks very much for that, Paulie. and they all like the team, and they all like Stevie's stuff. So yeah, there you go.
Cool. Right, I'll guess. My turn.
Steve makes me laugh so much. I love it.
Can we get on FPL Eyebrow, because that is a
Okay, FBL Eyebrow. Steve-O wants to talk to you about your team. You're live on the show with myself, Dave, and Steve-O. Would you like to talk to us about your team? I'm going to bring it up on the screen now. Hello. Come on, Mr. Eyebrow. How you doing? Can you hear us?
He's not there.
He's unmuted himself, but he's not talking. 3.
Did he unmute? Or was he always unmuted?
I think he unmuted, yeah. 2.
Oh, he's testing it out. He muted, then unmuted again. He's trying his best.
He's trying his best. Eyebrow, we'll try and get you on again, but go into your settings on Discord and double check that your microphone is configured correctly. We'll bring on LFC Warrior. LFC Warrior, good evening. Can you hear us?
All of a sudden you'll be in hot form. It was cold for a long time.
Hello, LFC Warrior. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
How are you doing, mate? How you doing?
I'm good, thanks, and yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from South Africa.
South Africa. Awesome. Ugandet, man.
Yeah, good and self.
Yeah, it's good. What time is it there?
It's 5 to 11.
5 to 11. Are you excited for the season? I'm looking to see if you posted your team in the live stream screenshots. Have you done so?
No, I haven't. I'm not too sure exactly where it is.
Okay. Is there anything you want to talk to us about this evening?
Well, I wanted you to have a look at my team, but I'm not sure exactly where to post it. I'll screenshot it.
Yeah, just above the waiting room, there's a text channel. Whereabouts in South Africa are you from?
Durban.
Durban, okay. I haven't been there, but I hear it's very, very nice.
I'm so impressed you just spoke another language there, by the way. I feel like we totally just walked right past that and no one said anything like it's normal. I can't believe you just did that. No one has said anything in the chat and nothing. Everyone's you know what? Jason's speaking another language. That's cool.
my wife is South African, so.
Oh, I'm not as impressed anymore. All right, sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, pulled that up.
I just posted it on the screenshots there.
Okay, I'll have a look now. Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for posting it there. So what are you not sure about in your team? You've got 2 Spurs that's straight off the bat. McCarthy, Alexander-Arnold, Doherty, Justin, Walker-Peters, Aubameyang, Salah, Ziyech, Souček, Kane and Ings. So question marks on Ziyech in your team, and who else?
I want a Chelsea asset in, but I'm not quite too sure who to bring in. I thought maybe Ziyech's the best option because he seems like the only player playing on that right wing for Chelsea. I don't see anyone else maybe taking that from him. Maybe Pulisic could take that right wing, but more left wing now, I think.
Okay, so the best asset for Chelsea. So everyone seems to be looking at Werner when they consider Chelsea. You mentioned Pulisic, he's a bit more money. Ziyech is there at 8. He's got a flag on him, possible injury. Dave, can you answer his question about Ziyech? Is he the best route in terms of Chelsea, or is he looking at the wrong player?
Ziyech is obviously going to be decent. They wouldn't have purchased him. They wouldn't have so much hype around him. Everyone's been talking about how good he's been in the past and different seasons, how well he's performed. I've never seen him in the Premier League, and I have doubts of anyone being able to perform at 100% as soon as they come to the Premier League. Not only that, but Chelsea have bought a whole new squad, it seems like. It's going to be really difficult for any of them to gel right off the bat, like we keep hearing on Twitter and everything, where a lot of players are now on international break. Lampard even came out and said it. You can find his quotes on Chelsea.com, where where he talked about how he only had a week with his players. They played a couple of friendlies, and then 11 of 12 of them are already off and they're away, and we're not going to be able to set up properly. So with that in mind, I would probably aim for a player that has already been at Chelsea just for a little bit to start off with, especially now that Ziyech has had a little bit of a twisted knee. So a lot of managers are saying Mount. A lot of managers are saying, we'll just stick to Werner, and I think Werner might be an exception because of just how exceptional he is, and that I totally agree. But if you told me that Pulisic was if everyone was gonna be playing Game Week 1, gun to my head, who would I pick for Chelsea? It would be Pulisic, because he's been in there for as long as he has. So if Ziyech was injury free, he's not a bad pick, but I think I would prefer Mount if I knew he was going to start over Matt. So that's pretty much where my head's at with that.
I definitely look to bring in Pulisic, but I can't find a 0.5 billion anywhere. Like, I've looked through this and just can't find that 0.5. I mean, I looked at Alexander-Arnold down to Robertson, but to me, Alexander-Arnold's worth that extra 0.5. But
fair play.
Steve-O, where would you squeeze that 0.5 out of if you were to get Pulisic in for Ziyech? Or do you think
Sorry.
Well, are you even listening?
We're trying to find this man 0.5 million from his player. How are we squeezing some money out?
I'd be probably looking at, if you're that desperate to get in Pulisic, I'd be getting rid of possibly Doherty. If you're that focused on doing a 4-4-2, Doherty down to Dyer, that gives you 1 million. Then you can upgrade
or Tierney
to Pulisic.
I'll just keep shouting him every so often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tierney. Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah. Doherty.
Yeah, I actually brought in Doherty when I heard he'd signed for Spurs because they got decent fixtures upcoming, and also with that, there's also rumors of Aurier leaving, so his spot should be pretty secure if he does leave.
That's true. That's something we didn't speak about already with the Tottenham lads, is that if Aurier does move on, then Doherty is really their only nailed-on diamond in that position. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen a lot of positive comments in the chat about Doherty, saying that essentially, actually under Mourinho, he could really flourish. So,
maybe.
I think, like I say,
I'd rather him to start his flourishing journey outside of my team, and then once he does flourish, I'll bring him in, let him flourish on his own time.
That's not a bad, and that's the thing, Again, it's going to be we don't know. We don't know what Mourinho's plans are with Doherty. Common sense would be to give him that freedom to bomb up the wing and cut in and be that attacking asset that he was for Wolves. But we don't know that. Yeah. So, again, it's if you really want to free up that 0.5 to bring in Pulisic for Ziyech without chopping your team up too much, then simply downgrade Doherty.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts. Game Week 2, I was looking at going Aubameyang and Souček for Greenwood and Rashford.
Double up. I like that.
Yeah. With those,
when you say Aubameyang, why are you not saying Salah? You just...
Give it a rest.
I'm just no, but I just don't understand why everyone just automatically goes Aubameyang instead of.
It's true.
Why don't they say Aubameyang or Salah?
Yeah. One of my premiums out.
One of my premiums. I mean, let's. Got 22 goals. God. I mean, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but still, I just don't understand why Aubameyang's so much hate compared to Salah. It's Salah. Oh, Salah.
For me, it's not the hate. It's just, I don't know, Aubameyang can be quite a frustrating player to own. He seems to score his goals when you're not really expecting it, and then when you are, he seems to just blank. So that's
100% the difference. That's a difference. Is that Salah will do it every game week, and Aubameyang will blank for you for 4, and then he'll get 2 goals and an assist in 2 games in a row, and he'll have the exact same points as Salah.
Ask Steve-O if he'll do it for him every game week.
Steve-O, what's happening, mate?
Salah, will he do it every game week?
He didn't do it in the Project Restart, so like I say, he looked a shell of himself in the Community Shield. I'm not having any hopes on Salah whatsoever. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute.
At the two right now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Sorry to butt in, but right now, if you had to choose Aubameyang or Salah, who would it be, Steve-O? If you had to only have one, Dave.
Yeah, Salah.
Right, that your opinion doesn't matter. Aubameyang or Salah in chat, you could let us know right now. Warrior, if you had to only have one player, you're probably going to say Salah because you didn't mention Aubameyang. But yeah, if you had to choose between them, who would it be?
That would be Salah for me.
It's because you got a Liverpool badge.
Nah.
Right,
Okay,
okay. We'll let the chat decide. We'll let the chat decide.
I'm 100% of a fixtures man, right? Arsenal have the worst fixtures after game week 2 of the entire Premier League. They play Liverpool, Sheffield United, Man City, Leicester, Man United, their first 5. After that,
Hold on a minute.
Aston Villa and Leeds, that's fine. But then Wolves and Tottenham, like, I don't care what anyone says about fixture proof or nothing. Harder fixtures are harder to score. That's just a fact. Whereas Liverpool.
But then you just agreed. Hang on, you're kind of going back on yourself because you just agreed that you'd expect Aubameyang to bang in the weaker opponents and he doesn't. But against the bigger opponents, he does. So it's like...
It's not a correlation. You're looking at a dissonance a little bit, unfortunately. Like, yes, he doesn't score very often against... You'd think he would score against these players, but he actually
did all right in Wembley against City,
etc.
and various others.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that he can't bang. I'm just saying, like... I won't expect him to score against the big guys, and I want to captain my 12 million people.
So
I'm not
you're a fixtures over form. You're a fixtures over form kind of man. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Cool. That's fine. That's basically.
Your opinion's valid again, Dave. You can sit right there.
No, absolutely not. No, there's we go. Yeah, we appreciate everyone's opinions of this show. You're wrong. No, absolutely not. No, essentially, you either form fixtures or form. Yeah. I personally, I'm inclined to agree with Steve-O. Salah's not really doing it for me at the moment in terms of the eye test. He doesn't look like he's anywhere near his best. Whereas Aubameyang, he's just doing it for, he's getting goals, he's performing well, and Arsenal kind of winning stuff at the moment. They're getting trophies, and I don't like it, but. No, I think that both are great assets. I just was interested to hear what your thoughts were. Of course, I was only joking about saying you're wrong.
I laugh at everything. It's just my thing.
Yeah, but other than that, LFC Warrior, other than the dilemma with Ziyech, is that pretty much it? Because for me, your team looks perfectly fine, other than Ziyech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried with Ziyech, but we'll see. Did you hear about apparently James Rodriguez just signed for Everton?
How much do you think he's going to be?
I think he's going to be 8 mil, same as Sigurdsson last year.
8 million. Oh,
8 mil.
I probably would need to wait. But he is the exact same as Ziyech, and he's a perfect placeholder. Everton have good fixtures we want to see for Chelsea. 8 million would be a very, very... I would say a juicy price. 8.5, I'd probably leave it, but 8 million would make me think. Definitely. What do you guys think?
It's a wait and see for me. Again, the fixtures are good. I think people that are going to wildcard game week 2 could be in for a treat.
Yeah, buddy.
No, but Brewster. Obviously, I'm going to ask you about that Warrior. Do you think Brewster's going to get a loan deal to the Premier League Premier League club?
No, I think so.
That's the reason for having him on the bench.
So, yeah.
Cool. We're waiting on that, of course.
I think it'll be Crystal Palace or Sheffield, one of those two.
Yeah, I was going to say Sheffield United. Yeah.
I hope it's not Sheffield United. If I asked you last season what team rotated their strikers the most, you're going to say Sheffield United. They had 4 on the go.
What team had the most defenders on the pitch? Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's difficult for me. If it's Sheffield United, I'm still going to get him. He's a 4.5 million starting striker. There's no point there's no different opinion you could possibly have. But I wish he goes to someone that's actually going to play him a lot. That's the thing. I want him to be actually used.
I think he could do pretty well at Crystal Palace because he does have a bit of pace.
Yeah, he plays in that Ayew kind of role, but he's probably a bit better of a finisher. 100%.
Not so good at penalties though.
That's what we saved for the last.
Oh,
I felt
sorry.
bad.
Yeah, it was only a community shield. It's fine. No, Mr. Warrior, thank you ever so much for coming on this evening, and hopefully we'll have you on again. We're gonna move on to the next caller, but cheers, dude.
Cheers,
And how very quickly, actually, one final question. Curiosity always strikes me. How long have you been watching our show?
About 6 months or so.
Oh, right, cool. All right, so what made you decide to call in this evening? Because this is your first time calling in, is that right?
I've called in once before. It was
Oh, right.
a while ago, but yeah.
Oh, right, okay,
It was
cool.
It was one of Steve-O's like breakfast shows. Back then.
Oh, right, okay. We'll be getting some more of those very, very soon, I bet. So thank you ever so much, Warrior, for coming on, man. You take care, dude.
Thanks, man.
Totsins.
Cheers, dude.
Bye.
I do really like those one guest, one question things. I was eating my cereal, watching Steve-O being an absolute, being very nice to everyone, but in his own weird way, and it was glorious. And he was like, "Dave, you should come on," and we just had such a laugh. I love those little breakfast shows. No one should laugh that much into Ball of Cornflakes, but you just can't help it. Can't help. So funny.
I like your Walking Dead poster, by the way. It's good. Yeah.
Here we go. You're gonna look all right. Silly.
Oh, it's not Walking Dead. It's Tournament.
Oh, you've done it. You've done that yourself, mate. That yourself.
On that note, if you are enjoying the stream and you haven't already hit the like button, please do so, and hit the notification bell if you haven't already to be notified when we go live next. And we are over 4,000 subs now. We are looking to possibly crazily get to 5,000. Who knows before Game Week 1? It could happen. It could happen. And Steve-O thinks it might. Steve-O, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think
He's really excited about that.
Steve-O, what do you want to talk about, mate?
I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning.
What are we talking about, mate? What's in that head? What's going on, man?
I want to take one more caller and get to bed.
Are you tired, Steve-O?
Yes, I'm shattered.
He's been up since 4. Why have you been up since 4 in the morning driving?
It's just my routine, yeah.
Do you not have a nap during the day?
No.
Why not?
It's very I get about 20 minutes and that's it. It does nothing to me.
In between lifting logs and,
Yeah.
Is that what you do for a living? You lift logs? That's badass.
He's a lumberjack and he's okay. All right. We'll move on. Go on then. Choose a caller then, Steve-O. Let's go.
FPL Hot Sauce. I'd like to get him on. He's one of our regular contributors. Nice to hear from him.
FBL Hot Sauce, you're live on air. To the millions and millions of viewers in the FPL world. Would you like to talk to us about your team? Oh. Hello, Mr. Hot Sauce. Can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you. Yeah. Just pausing the live stream so it didn't echo.
That's all right, man. It's all good. We got your team up on the screen. McCarthy in goal, Alexander-Arnold. Johnson, someone different. Vinagre, Egan, Armstrong, Aubameyang, Salah, Mane, Mitrovic, Werner, and okay, we don't need to talk about your bench. What do you want to come on and talk about?
Well, you may notice that extra big hitter in midfield. Not many teams go in with Salah and Mane, so there's obviously a plan behind it, but massive differential sticking the captain on Mane when a lot are going Salah and Aubameyang. So, yeah, the heavy hitters means a completely weak defence and bench, which you've picked up on. But the plan is obviously game week 2, see who's performed better out of Salah and Mane, and one of them are going to go straight to Bruno. I'm a United fan, as you know. We'll can just relax watching United games, having Bruno in. And then game week 3, Aubameyang to De Bruyne. And then there's an extra 2 mil then, so I'd probably maybe upgrade one of them shitters on the bench. Sorry, long day as well, Steve-O. Sorry.
There we go.
I can't believe we did so
well. We've had Dave literally wanting to swear for like the last 2 hours.
I know. I meant bench fodder. It just come out wrong. It's Steve-O's. I've been up I'm a teacher. I've been off for like 5 months, and it was the first day back in today, so I'm tired as well. Bit delirious. So yeah, Mitchell might go to Doherty if he performs. I'm not going to start with him. So yeah, that's the plan. But look, I mean, you guys look at that as a quick snapshot. My team doesn't look too bad considering I've squeezed those 3 big hitters there in midfield and Werner up front. So
I like your team for what you've done with it. I like the thought process. I like Armstrong. I think Southampton will have a good season. I like the fact that you've gone with Mane because of the reasons you've given. Obviously, the fixtures are there for Liverpool. You've got the triple up of the premiums. You can move them out to City players as and when. You've still got Werner, still got Mitrovic. You know, your back line's not great, but hey, they're playing. And you've got Alexander-Arnold. You covered your bases. You know, Mane is a bit of a risk. Mane, again, he's one of those players that frustrate you. He gets in all the right positions. Salah just doesn't want to pass to him.
he passed the eye test on the Community Shield. He's a bit rusty. He's touched, but he could have easily had a brace. He's normally quite clinical. So my plan is to Fernandes game week 2 anyway. Even if Mane outperforms Salah game week 1, I still think I agree with what you're saying, though, boys. I really do think Salah's not an absolute must-have this season.
Hang on. You're looking to get rid of Mane.
I know.
So over Salah, even if Mane gets a brace and Salah gets a blank. Come on.
I know. I might. If it weren't for this Manchester blank in game week 1, I might have done without the Liverpool attack. Seriously. They just cause a bit of a headache, the pair of them, don't they? So
yeah.
As well. You know how it is. If you pick one, you've got to stick with one, and I just feel like
it sounds like you've already picked him.
Well, this is a draft, as we all know. Very, very convincing arguments with the bench boost game week 1 straight into wildcard. Very, very tempting. I like what I saw there. Only very. It's a fresh strategy. I mean, not even considered it. So at first, like, what? And then when you listen to their rationale, I thought those, there's definitely some merit in that. Have you not noticed yet? I've done the.
I'm about to say it, mate. I was about to bring it up and slag you on. All right. Says anyone else notice the big thing that he's done in his team that you shouldn't do?
Give Sleepy Steve-O a chance. Come on, mate. You're on the ball. What
you shouldn't do?
What you shouldn't do? Well, there's no wrong answer.
Rotation keepers.
There, he's done it. You got it.
There he is.
I can't believe you've done this to your own teammate.
Mate,
oh my goodness.
No. There's a point where, so if you look at, I want McCarthy game week 1 against Palace. Game week 2, McCarthy's got Tottenham. We're all drumming on about Kane and Son and Ali. So Ryan for game week 2, he's got Newcastle. Then game week 3, Ryan's got United. But if you look at McCarthy, he's got a nice fixture game week 3 with Burnley. Then you can go McCarthy again for West Brom. Game week 5, McCarthy's then got Chelsea away, who again we're all drumming them up. And if you look at Matt Ryan for that week in game week 5, when Southampton's got Chelsea, Matt Ryan's got Palace, then West Brom at home. So this team is for about 8 game weeks in mind. I'm going to set and forget Mitrovic. I'm going to give him those 8 games. I think he's got 8 nice fixtures. So I think I'm trying to be a bit cute with those goalkeepers because there is a ceiling for the amount of clean sheets that you're going to get for these 4.5s. And we all know one thing that puts us off going for the rotation is there will be a game week where Ryan will have the Chelsea at home and he'll save a penalty and it'll be a freak game. But how often does that really happen? I just think, you go off the bookies odds of this, percentages, and we're all backing these teams to score loads of goals this season, so why not? They rotate beautifully. My only other option is stick Ramsdale in. I think he might still rack up a few saves as well. So it's either going to be because Ramsdale, set and forget, or maybe be cute with these rotating goalkeepers. But Yeah.
Who wants to take it?
Talk me out of it, please. Come on, boys. That's what we're tuning for. Jason, talk me out of a rotating pair. Come on.
Mate, it's just the age-old headache. I don't ever want to do it again. It's just not. It's not healthy, mate. It's not healthy, and it's that money that everyone's trying to squeeze out. It's the budget's 100 mil. It's really tight. People are already trying to get 0.5s here and there, and I think that you just have a 4.5er in goal, 5 max, and then just have someone that's just not ever gonna even come into consideration on the bench.
I agree, and I think whole community, whatever part is the all the drafts, I think everyone is saying that 4.5 and then a 4.0, set and forget. So I think the goalkeepers will even itself out this year. So
of course, if you're happy with your team and you've got the money there and you're happy to do some juggling in and out hokey cokey, then fine. I'm not going to say it's wrong because it's not wrong, but it's just another thing that you're going to have to consider, and it's just going to be another decision you've got to make over everything else.
I have a good question because this might sum it up for us. This might explain everything. Have you done the rotating goalkeepers before, mate?
Do you know what? I've done it a couple seasons ago when it was the in thing. I feel like that was the way everyone used to set up when it was 3 at the back and then you got 2 4.5 keepers. And I have had some success with it just by playing who's got the best fixture on paper. Nothing, nothing silly. It works, but like I said, it's that headache, and I think the way the game seems to be at the minute, and it is the headache removed. These transfers might be more precious than ever this season, so
that's fair. So you've done it before, so that's tick box for me. So that's tick box for me. So I've got a few tick boxes before I'm okay with this. All right, tick box 1, you've done it before, so you know the heartache. Absolutely. Number 2, if you pick the wrong goalkeeper in 1 week, are you going to be like? Is that going to be something that's going to be sticking in your head, or will you be absolutely okay with it?
I'm going to be absolutely okay with it. I'll tell you what. The only way it's going to drive me, the only way it would drive me nuts is if it's a coin flip and say it's like one of them's got Palace away, one of them's got West Brom at home. And you get it wrong. But if you look at Ryan and McCarthy's fixtures, there is no clash for at least 6 weeks. There is a clear cut. This keeper needs to go in that on this day because the other one's got one of the top 6.
That's a good caveat. That's a good segue into my third box that you need to tick. And is that how long are we talking for this double up? Because you have just said for at least 6 weeks, but goalkeepers are forever. They're not, just for Christmas. You need to be holding your goalkeepers for a long time, at least until you wildcard. You don't want to be spending transfers.
This goes to game week 9. Very, very easily get 10. And I'm surely we've got a wildcard by then.
Well, game week 8 then, Newcastle or Burnley?
Oh, is that me? So Newcastle at home or
Burnley at home?
Burnley at home. So
see, that's a hard one. I wouldn't be able to pick that one.
No, I agree.
West Brom or Everton? I think that's also quite similar. West Brom and Everton again, game week 4. That's weird, but also fun. I think that it's a good idea if A, you've done it before. B, it's not going to hurt your feelings if you pick the wrong one. Even if it's a coin flip, you need to be okay because that's going to happen more often than not. Yeah. And C, that you're going to keep this going for a while and you're not going to be like, you know what, it was a bad idea. I need to transfer out. And I've just thought of a fourth one while I've been speaking there. And the fourth one is that you're already doing something really risky in your team and you're having to scrape funds from everywhere to do it, which is to add a third big hitter in midfield with Mane. So you're sitting there with Salah, Mane, Aubameyang. Your defense is a little bit messy. Your bench is a shambles. But you also are now doing that weird thing with your goalkeepers that everyone seems to do at least once in their life. And it's it's a lot in one team is my issue. But if it works, it works.
But the second, as soon as Mane goes to Fernandes and one of Salah or Aubameyang goes to De Bruyne, I've instantly got 2 million in the bank, which means Mitrovic could be Ings or, it's not.
Wait, you have 2 million in the bank right now?
No, it will. As soon as I downgrade Mane to
right, I got you. Sorry, I missed that.
It's 2 mil straight away.
Right.
Which is an upgrade. But I think one player, right, there's this big debate. Everyone has asked the question, will Ings match his output from last year? And a few people seem to think there's no reason to say why he can't. I do think Southampton will have a great season. But one player who will absolutely match his returns and do better is Martial. And, you know, I think he's one player that might, you know, be needed in people's teams. I think Werner's a great price point, 9.5. He's the best striker to move a little bit down, a little bit up. So I like Werner for now. But I do think there's one. I know we can't have them all, but there's one player, Devo will say it, with the gut. I just think Martial's going to have a standout season. I really do.
Brilliant player.
Yeah.
Brilliant player.
Look at his goals and assists. He's absolutely getting that again. And he's going to build on it because he's the number 9 now. You know, it took a while for him to settle into that role for the first, you know, the first few game weeks of last season. He's straight into that position this time. There's more goals from United this season. I'm waiting. I agree. I was listening at the start of the show, and you were saying, as long as we add to the signing that we've just made, we as United fans, we've had our blinkers on. I've been waiting for Grealish or Sancho. Grealish, Sancho. It's those two players. And this one came out of the blue a little bit. Some of us were hoping for maybe a centre-back. But I just think if United do make any additional signings, it's only going to benefit Martial. And I think even if we make no more, I still think Martial's going to have a good season. So he is one at 9 million who I think is going to be a very good option. Bruno Fernandes could regress if he stops suddenly getting penalties. Martial has proven he doesn't need penalties to get it, you know, the odd goal. He's proven he's capable of a hat-trick on any given game as well. I think Martial's going to be going to have a great season. So I think I'm going to tinker with this draft. You was asking in the last couple of streams, 90% sure how many players are going to stay. For me, that it all depends. The second if I decide to take Mane out, it rips the whole team up, and this is only for game week 1. So I've got some thoughts to do. I wanted you guys to just see that because I don't think it. I've not had much feedback from it. I don't think it does.
Not bad, man.
Damage to the overall
No, it's not
team.
bad.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So.
I am mindful of time. I just want to say thank you for coming on again, Hot Sauce. But whilst we finish this off, I just want to say that there's only one thing that's better than an elite, eat, sleep, elite, repeat mug. I feel that taste of success. That's 2 eat, sleep, repeat mugs, and I'm going to give one away right now. If you're watching the stream, right? If you're watching the stream, go on our Twitter because I'm going to tweet it out. Boom. If you like that tweet and retweet it, I'm going to draw it after our next caller. And whoever wins is going to get a mug through the post. Nice. You need to contact me in Discord, okay? That's the only thing. You need to contact me in Discord. So if you win the mug, contact me in Discord or on Twitter. I'll follow you on Twitter if that's better for you guys. Contact me through the Twitter or Discord, and then I'll get it posted out to you. So you've got literally 10 minutes or so to like and retweet that tweet. There we go. Hashtag advert, hashtag sellout, but you get a mug out of it, so it's all good. Right, moving on. Thank you ever so much, Hot Sauce. We've got one more caller to go, and then we'll do the draw live on air. Thank you ever so much, dude. I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon, pal.
Cheers, buddy. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good evening. We'll try... Charlie's there, Theo's there. Who are we getting on? Dave, go on.
Someone new, someone different.
Someone different.
Yeah, pick someone you haven't seen before. Wait, FPL Eyebrows back. You could try him.
FPL Eyebrow, can you hear us? I'm guessing he hasn't sorted it out.
Oh,
hello.
Hi guys, how are you?
Yes!
Hey, it's worked. How are you doing, Eyebrow?
Good. Sorry, guys. It was my first time coming.
A very quick question: have you retweeted and liked the tweet yet?
It took me I haven't gone on Twitter. I'm about to do it. So
get him off.
Do you drink tea or coffee?
I drink everything, so we'll leave it at that. But the other part of it is if you can ship it all the way to Dubai, then we'll take it.
Mate, I was going to do UK only, all right? But because I am a generous guy, I'm going to go worldwide. However, I can't guarantee that all corners of the world, the mug will actually get there in one piece. It might arrive smashed. So I do not want to take any responsibility of the state of the mug. You'd have to piece it together and glue it together and take a photo and just display it as an ornament on your mantelpiece.
Sounds like
essentially, it will hopefully get there. How are you doing anyway, Ibro?
Doing well. Thank you.
First time calling in, I believe.
Yes, and I actually I've been playing FPL for a while, for like 7-8 years now, but like always been just these mini leagues with the friends and so on. But this year I wanted to take it a bit more seriously, so started figuring out and found all this amazing communities online. So on Slack, on a bunch of others, and Twitter, and so kind of just trying to get my head all around it. And so stumbled across you guys, and I really enjoy your content. So thank you guys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And we've been blessed tonight having Dave with us as well, who's a top guy. He's going to be onto YouTube, so you need to keep an eye out for him. He'll be hitting the YouTube pretty strong.
Already subscribe to your channel, Dave, and
thank you so much. I'll be giving away one FPL pint glass soon as well. By the way, just letting you guys know, FPL pint glass for anyone who goes and retweet right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I like it. That's Dave for you. That is what a guy. Steve-O, we're not getting him on again. Steve-O, this team, we've got to McCarthy, Alexander-Arnold, Dyer, your man Dyer, Vinagre, Mitchell, Target, or how did you say? Target.
So if you'd allow me to jump in, Jason, the reason I shared this is not really my team, but in the essence of what you guys were saying about talking about strategy and not necessarily specific players, I just wanted to see, I mean, given I was tinkering with this, and the fact that we have a lot of really good priced premium defenders, and we have obviously the two premium midfielders, whether it's choose your pick, KDB, Aubameyang, Sterling, Salah, Mane, or whoever it is, and then you have like good premium priced forwards. And then at least when I'm tinkering, I've kind of struggled with like the two, I don't want to call them bench fodder midfielders, the 5.5, but why not get like really good back five, just the two premiums in the middle and three good forwards? Like I was just thinking about the whole idea.
5-2-3 that I've seen for a long time, to be honest.
So I was just wondering, I mean, is it worth it this year because of the way the players are distributed, because of the likes of Doherty, Alexander-Arnold, you've got the Kanes, the Werners, and like you can probably, like, I haven't tinkered enough with it, but you can probably squeeze Kane, Werner, and an Ings along with Aubameyang, Salah, and Alexander-Arnold, Doherty, and maybe three cheaper defenders, maybe.
I just think the points from midfield, man. I look at Mitchell, I look at Target. You have got a power 3. Well, I'll say power 2, I should say. But up front, but I think the main points are going to be midfield. I really do. I look at that team. It's got some great players in it. I think it's a lot of money up front. With Werner and Kane there, I think a lot of the popular, like you said earlier on, the popularity at the moment is getting those mid-priced midfielders in as opposed to bringing in heavy hitters up front. Steve-O, I want to hear your opinion on this team. Be honest, 5-2-3 with the two premiums only in midfield, with the money spread out a bit, and
and the objective here is the formation rather than the actual players.
Steve-O.
It's different. I don't know. Sorry, why are you specifically doing this? Why are you going so heavy in the...
No, I was just playing around with it, and just given the fact that we always, it seems that the only thing we can do or have is without really stretching our team is having two premium midfielders. So we're going to have two premium midfielders at any point in time. And then we can, for example, if you get a Doherty would probably get you more than a 5 or 5.5 midfielder. And if you have 4 of those, rather than have 2, 5, 5.5 midfielders, you're more likely to get more points. So you can get Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, Doherty, and let's say Azpilicueta in the heydays. So if you take all those 4, you could potentially get them all with 2 premiums and probably 2 forward premiums. It's just a thought process, just to kind of, from a strategy perspective. That's all I'm saying. It's not about these players, these specific players.
Yeah. I don't like it whatsoever.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
If I was doing this, I'd be getting better defenders in over Vinagre, Mitchell, and Target. Dyer and Alexander-Arnold, I get it, but those other 3.
Have you got any money in the bank, mate?
Actually, this one I didn't even. Again, the whole purpose was the formation rather than the people. So I don't.
But the formation, that's absolutely fine. But the problem that I've got with it is that your price points at the back, playing 5 at the back, is rubbish. If you're having to play them every single week, I do not want to have to play Mitchell every single week. I don't want to have to play. So like, I don't even want to play any 4.0 million defender at the back ever, unless I absolutely have to. And he's coming off the bench or something like that, right? I don't want to have to rely on a shoddy defense every week. And unfortunately, with the price points, not looking at the player, but just the price points, you're going to have to. However, you have also said that you don't like punting on cheap-ish midfielders, and why can't we kind of diversify? Which is absolutely fair, until I notice that you have Mitrovic in your starting lineup, which is almost the exact same thing, except it's a striker, and will get less points if he does perform. That's my problem with it, I think.
Got it.
I think I would like to take Mitrovic down to a 4.5 and then just spread maybe 0.5 million for each of those kind of iffy defenders, Mitchell, Target, etc. At least for the little bit, until we can find out who those 4.0s, the 4.5s that we really want. I don't want to ever have to punt on a team at the back that I am doing 5 at the back. I want 5 consistent, awesome FPL history performers, like you said, Azpilicueta and Doherty and all the rest of it. And what you have right now at price points is a bit iffy for that strategy. I think you're too heavy up front to do
the formation isn't wrong. It's just players at the moment. I think it's just the combination of players. I think if you are going to go with that, just free that money up, like exactly what Dave says. Switch out one of Mitrovic or even Werner. You could just get that money out of Werner.
Yeah, exactly. Werner as well. You think of how better your defense could be if you went Werner to Ings and Mitrovic to Brewster.
Werner,
And you could those are still great points. You'd have 2 thingy. You could go Brewster if he plays 4.5, or even get a 4.5 midfielder, or Souček 5 million is also the exact same player for the exact same point that you're making, an 11th man that's a punt. And then you could upgrade Dyer to Docker. You could probably get Bellerin or even Tierney if you wanted to in one of those points. They have great fixtures that you would be starring and have a decent chance at a clean sheet. So yeah, Jason's absolutely 100% right. I do like the formation. There's nothing, like Jason said, there's nothing wrong with formation. And Steve agrees with both of us.
We talk about Shaun of the Dead, and we got one of the zombies over there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
So that's it. I mean, and this is, again, it was just kind of to throw something different just for the match.
It's a great show. It's great to talk these things through. That's the best part about this whole community. Exactly what you were saying. Coming in, seeing all this content, trying to talk about things, diversify our conversations 100%. You've got that classic origin story that all FPL managers have. I was doing my mini leagues with just my mates. Then I wanted to beat them. I Googled it, found out that there was loads of content, and here I am taking it seriously on a talk show at 22:37.
It's actually 1:37, 1 a.m., 1:37 on this part of the world.
Even more dedication, mate. Congratulations. So yeah, thanks for filling that in. I really liked that little chat. That was good.
No, thanks, guys, and just keep up the good work. I'll be joining in when it's not too late that I'm still awake and semi-sober to have a good chat.
Cheers, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you ever so much.
Take care, guys.
Okay, so it's time to draw the winner of the retweet composition. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. In 3, 2, this is people that have retweeted. 1. FPL Swan. FPL Swan, a Swansea supporter that enjoys making threads and working with numbers. I like statistics. Congratulations to FPL Swan for winning the mug. Contact me, please. I'm following you on Twitter. Contact the Elite FPL Twitter over the next few hours, 24 hours, whatever. We'll get that sent out to you, FPL Swan. Thank you ever so much for taking part in the competition, and I'll be drawing a mug again tomorrow night. So there you go. If you've missed out tonight, don't worry. There'll be another one tomorrow and another one. What day are we on? For Thursday night. There we go. Yeah, it's been a great experience. And the people that haven't been able to come on the chat tonight, don't worry. We'll get you on tomorrow night. For those of you who don't know, we'll be streaming tomorrow night, and it's some guy called Andy's coming on the show. He's quite new around here, and no, am I kidding? It's Let's Talk FPL Andy. So we're really looking forward to having him on the show. But I have to say that I've really enjoyed having you on the show tonight, Dave. You've got the gift of the gab. You're very knowledgeable, and you've been spoiled on Twitch. I've said it. You need to come and taste the sweetness of YouTube, and which you are doing. And I very much look forward to your channel growing. I've certainly hit the notification bell, and I will be watching your content.
Yes.
Dave, it's your time to plug away. How do people find you?
You can find me at FPL_Dave on Twitter, or you can find me at FPL Dave on YouTube, or you can find me at 40 Keel Avenue, Glasgow, Scotland. No, I'm joking. That's my old address. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's just it. Twitter, YouTube. I'll probably be in the Discord for a little bit as well.
Cool, man. I hope you do, dude. I mean, you can kind of I hope you didn't get spammed with messages, but it shouldn't be like that. It's a good place. It's a friendly place.
I enjoyed myself. I was there for a little bit last night. I learned a lot about music and all sorts of stuff. FPL content was good. I liked it. I nearly got a mug there, though. I didn't win, and I've unretweeted
well,
it.
You can still take part. I'm going to delete the tweet, so there we go. So there's no one gets disappointed. So let me just delete that tweet now. Boom. Steve-O, how have you found this evening? I know you're half asleep. Well, I've made a few jokes out of it. I hope you don't take it to heart. But that's just the way I am.
Is that a question? I didn't. Sorry, what did you say? Is that a statement? Did you ask how the stream's been?
Yeah, how's the stream been for you, Steve-O?
It's been great. Very long, but yeah, it's been great.
What are you going to be doing after this goes off air?
Straight to bed.
Would you like to say anything to our viewers right now that are watching all over the world?
Watching and see you tomorrow evening, because tomorrow evening is going to be very interesting for me. Looking forward
hopefully you get some more sleep tomorrow, man, because you look like you're shattered. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I won't ask you to wave, Steve-O, because it's a lot of energy, I suppose.
I just want to say, guys, it's been amazing to be on. I've had such a good time, and I could go for another 5 hours. I know we don't all feel that way, but I really love talking to you guys both, Jason and Steve-O. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for having me. This has been absolutely amazing, and I have over 100 likes on that project, the 8 Simple Rules. I'm really appreciating everyone who's jumped in there and
hit the like button on it. Tweet it out in the chat, Dave. Smash it in the chat. We'll get everyone to get on that. Yeah, go for it, man. Sell it, man. Sell it to everyone. Right. Anyway, I'm selling it. Patreon next week, guys. Stay tuned. I'm joking. Have a good one, guys. All the best.